Yeah, just got a message from Bevan Whitfield. She's coming in.
Oh, good.
Haven't seen her for ages.
Hey, Chantal,
Yeah.
the actual landmark instead of just a link Jordan's looking for.
Yes, of course.
Put it in a notice.
Hang on, do I have it? And landmarks. Yes. Oh, let me get.
Because I forgot how to make a link a landmark. Because I.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Right.
All right. Do we want to wait a little bit longer just to see who else files in, or do we want to get started?
I think give them a bit longer. My theory is that a lot of people see a start time and thinks that's the time they start moving towards the event.
I am happy with that. Jordan's being a little usher right now. Look, I can see him moving on the map. Leading somebody in.
I see Yanni coming in with Svetlana. He was asking questions already yesterday. So, yeah.
You are the best usher ever.
Yeah.
When we're done with this, you guys have to check out the animations and all the seats out there because they're really cool. Like you can eat popcorn and drink things and cuddle and it's cute.
They look very natural.
Yeah.
Glass is in the audience. He's building a memorial place to Tutsi and Lap, and it will be permanent. So we'll talk some more about it. Yeah, we'll talk some more about it at Machinima Mondays. He gave me a quick glance. She gave me a quick glance. Yeah. Lynn brought her own chair, look at that. Bevan is here. Hey, Bevan. Rubaiyat. Emmo. Wow. So many old familiar faces. Hey, Elba.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Hey, Skate. Whoa, it's been ages. Oh, good to see you, girl. And Aria. Sky dancers are here. Wow. Hey, Phobos. Welcome. So, Just say the word. When are we starting? Can you tell I'm eager? I'm sorry.
What?
When are we starting?
Oh, we were waiting a little bit for people to kind of come in, but we can start whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want
Pick a number.
to give them
Hello,
5
Skate.
minutes, or do we want to go ahead and start now? Oh, Elbag is like, now.
Yeah, let's start. Let's start.
All right. I will give you, and then we'll go ahead and start.
That's a nice hat, Ravelli.
Welcome back, Elsie.
I'm saying something now just to check everyone can hear. In the audience? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm checking for Bane and Muse.
Bane,
Sure
yeah.
they're ready. Yeah.
Yeah, Bane and Muse. Yeah.
I am back. Hi, everybody.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome back.
I'm not getting an answer. Maybe they went to the bathroom, both of them, or something.
They should still be able to hear.
Bane, Muse, are you there? Oh, we are ready and live already on YouTube, so that's awesome. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, let's get started.
Oh yeah, we're live. I can see.
Yes, we are live. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Silver City. On behalf of Second Life Video Creators Group, thank you for joining us today. Whether you're a filmmaker, a longtime resident, or someone discovering Machinima for the first time, we're so happy you're here. Today is about honoring the people whose creativity and innovation and passion helped shape the Machinima community that we know today. When SL23B came to a close, many of us weren't ready to say goodbye to Silver City, which is the place that you're sitting here now. This wasn't just another exhibit. It became a tribute to the storytellers who transformed a virtual world into a stage for filmmaking. It celebrated over 2 decades of creativity, collaboration, and imagination. And thanks to the incredible generosity of Chantal Harvey, we have a temporary home here, allowing the celebration and history to continue long after the birthday festivities ended. So when we brought Silver City to its new home, our goal wasn't simply to preserve the build. We wanted to preserve a moment in our history. The theater around us and the streets of Silver City remind us of the golden age of filmmaking, and that inspired generations of storytellers. Today, they've become the backdrop for something even more meaningful, a chance to hear directly from the pioneers who helped define Machinima and Second Life. So rather than simply celebrating their work, we have an opportunity to celebrate the people behind it, to hear their stories, to learn how they approached filmmaking when there were no tutorials, no established techniques, and often no roadmaps at all. Because understanding where we come from helps inspire where we're going next. Machinima has always been more than just cameras and editing. It's about bringing people together. It's about collaboration. It's about taking a virtual world and filling it with stories that make us laugh, cry, and inspire others. Today, we are incredibly honored to welcome some of the people who helped make that make that all possible for us. Please join me in welcoming our special guest, Phaylen Fairchild, Toxic Menges. If I say these wrong, I'm so sorry. Petlove Petshop, Saffia Widdershins, LP Kid, and Chantal Harvey. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, thank you. So over the next, hour or so, however long we're here, however long we want to sit and chat for, we're going to take a journey back to the early days of Machinima and Second Life. We'll hear about the challenges of creating films when there were no tutorials, no techniques. We're going to talk about the breakthroughs, the unforgettable moments, and the stories behind the films that just inspire so many of us today. This isn't just a panel discussion, though, it's a conversation. So throughout today's event, we'll be opening the floor for the audience to have questions. So if you have something that sparks your curiosity, please don't be afraid to ask. You can message Jordan Rizzo. He is happy to take your questions. He will pass them along so that we can ask those questions to today's panel. Some of the best stories were ones that were not planned. So, we love to hear the questions. Maybe some of you guys have questions that spark a conversation up here, and we'd love to have it. Before we begin, I do want to extend a very special thank you to Bain and Muse for making today's live stream possible. Because of their hard work behind the scenes, members of our community from around the world who couldn't join us here in Silver City are still able to make this celebration today. And also to everyone joining us here today at Silver City from around the world, thank you for being a part of today's celebration. And I would love for our guests to introduce yourselves today. Tell us who you are and how long you've been in Second Life. And for those who may be discovering your work for the first time, maybe a little bit about your journey with Machinima. How about we start with Phaylen?
Oh, gracious. Hi, everybody. It's so good to be here. I am so pleased to be able to be here because these are luminaries. These are people whose work I have enjoyed. I have collaborated with them over the years. And my first Machinima I released 20 years ago. And it was, I'm aging myself. I should have lied about that. I really should have lied about that. But no, she's almost old enough to drink. So we're there. And I'm one foot in the grave, apparently. So I started in the beginning. I was inspired. I've always been a storyteller. I've always been a writer. I've always been a film advocate. I started in Second Life. I looked at the platform and I thought, wow, what can we do here to tell stories in this new medium? And it opened itself up and allowed for people like me and Toxic and Chantal and Petlove and Saffia and Code Warrior and so many others to share our dreams and our stories and our ideas with a broad audience for the first time. And it was beautiful to watch it evolve over the years. It sort of took off. It became very mainstream eventually, and eventually it was used in TV series and movies. And it's just been one of those things. I feel like I Forrest Gumped my way here. This was not intentional. I didn't know that I was going to be at the precipice of this burgeoning new industry at the time. So it's kind of been a wild ride. And here it is 20 years later, I'm still doing it, just in another place now.
I love it. Where's this new place?
So I went to World of Warcraft from Second Life. But, it was really unique because I dropped my Second Life avatar, green screened her into a World of Warcraft episode. And that was the second season of Divas. So the character is she's very close to me. She's a little bit airheaded, just like me in real life. She's pure. She's humble, but she's a diva. She's, sort of unaware, blissfully ignorant, as I say, of the world around her or why she exists. And so at the end of season 1, she was zapped away to World of Warcraft by a Tauren that appeared at her bed after she stole a magical little artifact from some old man's space. So then there was like a gap of years, at least 2 or 3, and then the World of Warcraft series came out, and people are like, why is the Second Life avatar in World of Warcraft? It blew people's minds because it wasn't supposed to be like that. And then only in February did we start maneuvering her. Finally, she was able to continue her story because, you know, when you're doing a sitcom or an arcing story following one person through their adventures over the years, now we're mixing mediums again, and she's dropped into AI world. And then, of course, from there, she's going to go someplace else for season 4. But it's been quite an interesting journey, especially with the current climate and attitudes, justifiably in so many cases, with regards to that. But it definitely took a new journey, and I could see her in a new space and new friends and a new adventure, and then continuing on her story from the end of that, she lands in the real world.
I love that. I remember the first World of Warcraft Machinima that I saw was the da 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 da. You know that song? You guys can see that one? I just aged myself a little bit, like way back in the day when nobody was fighting in Warcraft, but then people could do the little dances and stuff.
Absolutely. And World of Warcraft was a beautiful world to film, and I downloaded a dummy version of it on my system so I could manipulate all the assets and use it. So Toxic actually starred in one of my favorite episodes of Diva Season 2, where she played a trio of mean blood elves and did such an impeccable job. But every blood elf had to be green screened in separately, so it was kind of a very complex process.
So awesome. That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, or your story with us, and where you've come from and all of that. Who would like to go next? Anybody want to volunteer? Or do you want me to call on somebody again?
Call on Toxic.
Toxic. Okay. Toxic. It's now up to you, guys.
Yeah, it's up to me now. I hope you can hear me. Thanks for that, Phaylen. My Second Life Machinima journey started, I think, I'm just looking at my YouTube channel. My first Machinima was badly made 18 years ago. That's horrifying. That's absolutely horrifying to go look at that. The first big one that I made was about 17 years ago, which is a music video for a Second Life singer, Winston Ackland. And that was 17 years ago. And that was actually how me and Phaylen met. Because, do you remember this, Phaylen? There was the reality TV show that you were involved in. And it was where you were going to find the next sort of SL star. And they had to be like really good at building. And one week they were going to do building, and the next week they were going to do a machinima. And I remember, and I went along to like the casting call, and they were like, "Oh, show us your video." And so I sent the video, and I remember everybody was sat in a circle. And then at the end of it, Phaylen was like, I think you need to help us to actually film the show. Let's do that. Mm-hmm. And then Phaylen was like, let me tell you, girl, we're going to do some stuff here. We are going to do some stuff. So that was how that started. So this is all Phaylen's fault. So sort of moving on from then, Little Fish is still one of my favourites. I'm still very good friends with Winston and Ceci Ackland, who made the video, and Winston, who went on to be the voice of Budweiser adverts, for those who didn't know. So my machinima journey really took a very long and winding path. I've had some great fun with it. We've did about 3 48-hour film projects with Fakey and Dorian, the Dual Theatre Company, and we did pretty good on that. We went out to Taos to the Film of Palooza because we won 1 year, and that was good fun. I also did loads and loads of machinimas that really were sort of like more storytelling or just plain odd, and I kind of enjoyed that. For me, Second Life is the more chaotic and strange it is, the better it is. I love the perfectness of it. I love that we can do anything. I love that we just think about the strangest thing that can possibly happen, and then we film it. I enjoyed that. But part of my journey, probably the highlight, was I was asked to go to Amsterdam to Saffia studio to help her do some machinima, which was going towards the opening of the Copernicus Science Centre in Poland. Is it Poland? Yeah. Which was shown live on television. So went over to Saffia's studio and did a load of machinima for her. Now, and it was amazing. It was really nice, but a nice little jolly to Amsterdam, which was fun. Got to make machinima in basically a professional studio. I remember going over and handing over my hard drive to the guy in the editing room. And it was a huge, big editing room. It was very dark and it had huge screens and a very professional Final Cut studio. And I was like, oh no, this is going to look awful when it gets all rendered then. But it was okay. So it was really good fun. And so I kind of did that and I enjoy the madness of it. And I think that's what should be embraced in Second Life, the madness, the chaos, and everything that you can possibly imagine doing. We have the opportunity in Second Life to be as strange as we want to be in a way that we can't possibly do in real life. And I think we should be embracing that. And it's kind of what I tried to do. I absolutely love the creativity. I haven't been in Second Life for a long time, and I came back because Chantal, who's my dear and lovely friend, and Fakey and Dor and Phaylen and all of you guys that I've seen that I haven't seen for ages, it's lovely. And just embrace the creativity. Just be as mad as you want to be, because this is where you can do it. And that's kind of my story, really. And it's all Phaylen's fault, by the way.
I love that. I love that you encourage the weird and to be you and to focus on who you are and not worry about what everybody else is doing and just do you. I think that's amazing. Yeah. And we're glad to have you back. We're honored that you're here to, a lot of people don't come back to SL. They say, nope, I'm done. And then they move on. And, but we're so honored to have you here today. So I'm very grateful that you're here to share your story and to hang out with us and talk with us. And who knows, maybe it might inspire a machinima. Go, I'm sorry. Oh.
Many tales have been told and many more we cannot tell, I'm afraid.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and LP, you want to go ahead and have the next honor to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about where you came from.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm American, African-American, Southern California, and I started on Second Life while I was in college. I was actually referred to Second Life from my art teacher, and he wanted us to branch out and learn about video gaming and connecting with people in the gaming community, and that's how I was introduced to it. And so we would come on Second Life as a class and just build. And that eventually turned into role play, which eventually turned into me dapping into videography. And that was all the way back in 2000. Oh my God, I'm about to date myself. Here we go. This was in 2006 on a different account I had, but in 2007. And then I didn't start doing videography and machinima. My first music video was in 2012. And from there, I did little music videos with my friends. And it just kind of grew. And videos back then, it was a totally different world. And I said we weren't mesh, and everything was prims, and wow, it was. Some of you guys or you ladies know what I'm talking about if you're from that era. But from there, it's just grown. My machinima turned into doing short films, into doing music videos. My audience grew. My knowledge grew of how to use the platform. I brought my degree in game design into the world to apply it. And and I just started networking, and I'm at where I'm at now. I do short films. I'm kind of looked at as a veteran and a pioneer, because there's like so many people are doing it and have taken it to a whole new level, and I'm inspired by all the new talent that I see, and it's amazing. But that's where I'm at now. I've taken little breaks. I've taken a back seat. Things happen in life where you got to kind of step aside and let the new kids take over. But they always come back to me, like, Mac, I inspired me, and I've inspired him, and as well as others, I'm sure. But that's where I'm at now. I'm still doing short films. I just don't do it as frequently as I used to, but I still do them, and I still have my YouTube channel up. And I was invited to this, and I'm honored to be here.
Well, we're very happy to have you here. We enjoyed all the series that you have done in the past, and I always look forward to see what you're doing. And when you come back fully, or if you just do every now and then, that's okay too. Machinima is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to come in here and some take on positions or jobs or something like that, but at the end it's all about having fun and and being inspired and telling a story, no matter what you're doing. So always remember that.
I completely agree with you. I love the creativity here. The limit, like she mentioned, like the limit, you can just do whatever you want, and your limit is your imagination.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and we'll move on to let's blind pick. Let's go with Petlove.
Aha.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and, what your journey is throughout Second Life? How long have you been here? And, a little bit
I've
what
been
you're
here.
doing now.
I can start with how long I've been here, which is the same as LP here, about 2006. I was looking for a part-time job for some part-time income in addition to my regular income. And I read that you can make $400 or $500 a month in Second Life if you applied yourself in some field. So I came in, didn't apply myself at all, had so much fun and fell so much in love with the environment that I stayed. And then when I found out I could make videos or storybooks even and just exercise my own creativity, that was it. I was hooked, completely hooked. And I've been here ever since, making lots of videos, a lot of amazing people, including everyone who's here just about. So it's a pleasure.
Thank you. And can you tell the audience here what kind of videos you typically are making?
Well, it started out fashion designers wanted videos. People who were putting on plays or music concerts made videos for them. And then people like Saffia came along and had me doing multi-year projects. How long did we do Happy Hunting for, Saf? Do you remember? It was pretty long. I think that had to be 3 or 4 years. And I was lucky enough to, people needed videographers at that time. And I was lucky enough to be picked up by Saffia, Pookie, a lot of people who wanted their Sims recorded because they loved them so much. So I did just about anything anybody wanted that I could. And it was just a joy. It was just a pure joy. And I continue to do it. I've gotten into live streaming, mostly for educational conferences lately, past couple of years. I've made 1 or 2 oddball videos on the way, but just because I can, it's just the creativity is so important in Second Life, the opportunities that present themselves for people like all of us. And we just run with it. It's like eating, you got to exercise your creativity too. So that's why I probably won't ever leave. That's really about it.
Shut down tomorrow. What would we all do with ourselves?
Well, I'd have to make real life videos. I did make one of my son playing at a local bar. He plays bass, and it's really great. And I would have to go into real life next because I can't stop. I won't.
I would have to play The Sims for like 5 months to pass the farming.
To get over it, yeah.
Yeah. I love that you. I love hearing when SL moves to RL. You know, we start. That's been my journey. I started out making videos in SL, and now I do it as an RL job. So
that's wonderful. Yeah, there are people who have gotten jobs with major networks with the skills they've developed here.
I don't work for a major network yet, but we're on our way.
Yeah, best of luck. Best of luck. Yeah. Oh, I did want to say too, there are a lot of opportunities for people to be very creative in OpenSim as well. And I just wanted to throw OpenSim out here because there's a lot going on over there. A lot of the educational conferences I've spoken about are in OpenSim because it's more convenient for them. So it's great. It's just such a great environment. And that's it. I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, let's go ahead. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us and everything. It's amazing to hear, and we love that. Let's go ahead and head over with Phaylen. How about?
You mean Saffia?
Or, yeah, Saffia. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So my journey was a bit different because I came into the whole world of filming and machinima through television. I know people who've been around a long time will remember Second Life cable network, which later became Treat TV. And it was actually a channel that had a fantastic number of shows. I was looking them up earlier and I tracked down these different ones. And I'm just going to post them for everyone. And shout it so people can see. But they used to do most of those shows on a weekly basis. They weren't all on at the same time. Some stopped and some, some had a sort of ending, but then others took over. And I did what started as Meta Makeover and then became Designing Worlds. So initially I wasn't filming, I was scripting, writing the scripts and doing the presenting. But eventually I wanted to start making films myself. So I did, and I worked on a couple of things. I did a short Sherlock Holmes thing. I actually was lucky enough to get onto an Adobe run course that taught me how to use Premiere, which was fantastic. And I made a short Sherlock Holmes film for that. But by that point, I'd been working with Pet on a show called The Blackened Mirror.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
The multiple year.
Yep. Yeah. With multiple characters. Sorry.
Yeah. Multiple crew. I mean, it was a big thing. And then we had, what did we use to do the shared editing? We had Open Studio, wasn't it?
Oh gosh, I can't quite remember. It was, I want to say not Discord. What did we have before Discord?
I think it was
what that is.
It was called Open Studio, so we could all work on something together.
Okay. But we had Skype before that, even way back.
Oh, yes, we did Skype for voice.
We used a lot of Skype, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Meta Makeover Designing Worlds goes back to 2008. And I can still remember the first episode of that. What we were doing, we went and made over someone's home with all kind of the latest furniture, posh furniture and everything. And there was one thing that was absolutely beautiful. It was like a bowl of roses, very detailed, very intricate, and then one lying on the side. And we stood by this wooden table talking about it for 10 minutes and how wonderful it was and how great it looked. And then I got a message when they started editing it. They realized that the roses had never rezzed. So we had stood at an empty table, having this completely, earnest conversation about what was on the table, which no one could see. So we had to go and re-record sound for it, finding something to talk about while we just
that is
stood
too
next
funny.
to a table. That was what it was like in the early days. You could never be sure that everything rezzed on the camera. It was...
I learned more from mistakes and problems like that about editing and show maintenance than from any other source, didn't you? I mean, you could count on it. Something would go wrong, you'd figure out a way around it and move on. Yeah.
Because you did Happy Hunting. You did it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Everything I know, I learned it.
I remember watching those shows, and your voices are like, I know your voices, but I'm like, wait a minute, that's them. And I'm like, I remember watching those shows because they inspired me. And so, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
They went on for 2 or 3 years, didn't they? That was quite a series.
Which one? Happy Hunting?
Happy Hunting, yeah.
Yeah, that went on for 3 or 4 years, I think. Yeah. Cinders was great on that. She was wonderful.
She was perfect. Wow. Yeah.
But Designing Worlds ran from 2008 to 2023, I think.
Oh, wow.
I'm planning on bringing it back.
Are you? That's great. That was another just wonderful continuing piece of work.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Absolutely. It was a lovely way of kind of showing the evolution of Second Life.
Yes, just definitely. Is Elric still around?
He is, but he's focused on radio pretty much now.
Okay. All right. I know he always loved that. But I digress. Please excuse me. Just tell me to shut up in local chat if you want. I'll try to listen.
I love the discussion and conversation. I want this to, we've had panels in the past that have been super amazing. But, it's been mostly like me asking a question and then saying, would you like to answer? Would you like to answer? But I love the conversation. I love the flow of this. This is so much better. Those were great. I don't want to say they weren't good at all because they were amazing. But I love the conversation flow. So that's really great to have. Before we do get too lost in conversation, I do want to introduce Chantal Harvey as well. This is last but not least, welcome to the stage and thank you so much for being here. And also thank you, like I said before, thank you so much for allowing us to use your land to put this here and have this event. It really means a lot to us, both Jordan and I and all of SLVCG, if I can speak on behalf of everybody, which I think I can. So, but yes, thank you and welcome. And please, the stage is yours, my friend.
Thank you. Well, First of all, any of you machinima makers, if you need a space to film, I have this sim here, and any filmmaker, just ask, if you need temporary space or part of the sim, I have a lot of prims, not endless, but just ask, if you need space, then I will provide it if I can. So, yep. So I'm proud that you guys came here. Thank you for that. It started with confusion, like we were going to go to your venue at SL23B, and then you realize it finishes at the 19th, and the event was planned for the 25th. So the build is over here now. It's and you can keep it here for a while if you want to. I like
that would be amazing.
It's a lovely
I
build.
love it. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's I was so sad when I heard, because I had been on vacation for like a week, and I came back and Jordan was like, the event SL23B ends on the 19th, right? And I was like, oh no, like we have this event planned, and what are we going to do? And so thank you so much for
things can always
providing.
be solved. Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, let's hear about you.
I came to Second Life in 2007 in January, and I actually came to SL to escape the real life filming. I was working for Dutch television. You can probably hear I'm Dutch, my accent. And I was so fed up with the competition in TV. People think working for TV is wonderful. Well, it's not. Let me help you there. It's all about male dominance and competition, and it's not a nice atmosphere. Make one mistake and they'll still tell you 2 years later. So I was really, really tired and fed up with television work. I was a very good camera woman. I was a producer, multicam, real-life productions, musicals, all that. And the stress was killing me. So I thought, Second Life. Somebody wrote a book about it, a Dutch writer, Ilja Pfeiffer, about his life as a woman. And I thought, what's that? Second Life, let's try it. And I'm away from all this TV work. And of course, within a week, I found the viewer. Still had a camera in it then. So I started recording all these crazy people I met. Can you believe I was a window washer? I was a greeter in a nightclub. I was a tiny on some beach somewhere bumping into people. It was wonderful, a whole new fantasy world. Like the old-fashioned fantasy island we used to see on TV. For me, it was a magical little world, and I wanted to record everything. You see all these people and events, and you can fly. I mean, don't we all want to fly? But after a week or so, I started recording, and that was the beginning of what I'm doing now. So before I knew it, I had my own film festival, the MMIF, and I ran that with Zimo, who's in the audience, my Dutch brother, my chosen brother. We ran it. It was the first event of its kind it was simultaneously in Second Life. It was streamed online, avant la lettre by Melbourne's writer. And it was in Amsterdam in a real-life location, in an art building, an audio preserved film building. It was really, really fantastic. And people were there. They came from all over Europe. And we had a great event. I think Phaylen and Toxic, you both were a host the second year we ran it. And I think, I remember the time that Toxic stood next to Blue Linden, and her nipples were showing. This was in the time that Second Life was having Nipplegate. You guys remember Nipplegate?
Do you remember that? Do you remember that, Chantal? Because I said I'm buying a dress that you can see my nipples through, and I'm going to stand next to a linden for an hour. That's what I did.
We had 2 hosts for every hour. The festival ran for 10 hours. And the only rule was that people had to submit the work they were most proud of. And we had some fantastic films, all the films that people sent it to me. And I said, yes, of course you can be part. And we made the hours, and every hour there were 2 hosts. We had the most crazy people presenting it. Phaylen, you were a presenter. You drew quite a crowd, didn't you? It was, yeah.
You just want to see my nipples.
No, we didn't. No, you were decent, and you were always wearing your hair. That was your biggest scare. Not my hair. My clothes fine. You know, you used to end up naked when you TP'd from one sim to the next, and Phaylen was always screaming, "Not my hair!" So if you want to know about the good old days, yeah. And that festival ran for a couple of years, and of course, then I was asked to produce a 48-hour film project, which included Machinima for the first time. It was included in a serious festival because the winner of that festival actually went to Cannes. So the Machinima people went crazy. I had Tony Dyson as a host, as a head of jury. I had Peter Greenaway was head of jury. Penumbra, remember, you were his favorite. You really loved your film. Yeah, we've done so many things. I made over 140 Machinimas, I think, if not more. So I was totally addicted, and I was still working day job back then. Started running Machinima Mondays, which has been running since 2007. And thanks to Saffia, I brought it back in 22, I think it was, because I gave it up a couple of years before in 2019. So we had a pause of 3 years. And Saffia dared me to bring it back, and I did. And it's still running every Monday now. And we've helped so many people on our way, you know, so many people that want to do Machinima and think they can't. And you just need one person to encourage you, and there, you know, then the world opens.
I agree.
So,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Machinima Monday is such a great opportunity for even people to share their work who are scared to share their work too.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for us?
Well, I have to mention Film Fest at the Fantasy Fair.
Oh, yes, of course. Please do.
Which is also a huge event. I moved my real-life holidays for that, and I run that with Saffia also. Yeah, she's the one that started it and asked me to join. And we work really well together. So, yeah.
You guys really do. Yeah.
And you know one thing, I can't remember how I met Phaylen and Tox. It seems like you girls were always there. How did we meet?
Yeah, we're like a board.
I can't remember.
Some of those early TV shows brought some of us together. Who used to have Only in Second Life, Only on Treat, and what was the other TV station besides Treat, quote unquote TV? There was another one somewhere in there. But anyway, some of us went through a couple of those. I think that's where I first heard Phaylen and Toxic's names. You know, and it's just hard to remember.
Yeah, Metaverse, that's it.
Metaverse TV.
Yeah. All kinds of stars together, huh?
It was a very small. It was a small community. It was very small, and we tried to get everybody in and help everybody, you know, and that was the really good thing about it. And Chantal was always there. Chantal was always there, telling people they could do it, and just telling them, just do it.
Yeah.
And
I like to support and help, and it's
Chantal. Without you, none of this would have been going so long. You know, I think you need to kind of stand up and take a bow, girl, because it is down to you, a lot of it. Yeah.
Very long-lasting influence, for real.
Yeah.
You got that staying power. You got that staying power.
You came to Machinima Mondays, didn't you, LP? You had your shine.
I mean, earlier days I used to go, but I need to go more often.
Yes, you do.
Everybody's talking about their series, and LP, you have some amazing series that you were doing. You want to tell us a little bit about those series that you were doing?
The earlier ones or the later ones? Because I did some. The earlier ones, I think, with the first ones that I was doing with a group of people. I did them with Mandolin and DP, and it was, I think, well, before DP, no, first it was just me and Mandolin, and we did The Mesh, The Bold, and The Beautiful.
All right.
It was a funny
Oh,
show.
my.
It spawned into a short film that spawned into many more films, and we did 3 little movies, and it was just about these couples, and it would always be a mesh. Like, I think the woman was betrayed by her husband because she wasn't mesh. And he went for the mesh instead of her, and then it shows her prim hands. It shows her prim hands and stuff. And that first episode nailed it. And then after that, it was very dramatic after that. But yeah, we did that, and then from there went to Mama Said, and that was
Mama Says.
A lot of people liked Mama Said because I played Ermin. I do voice acting, by the way, so I adjust my voice to sound like Ermin, and it's more like, hello, how you doing? I'm Ermin Trudes Wadsworth. It's kind of like that.
I
just
clap,
turn it
I'm
on.
clapping.
So I would do Ermin,
so funny.
and then my friend Mandolin, she would play Tina, and then we had a couple of cameos with DP. DP was really helpful with my Mama Said, with the writing of that and production. It was a whole team of us. I did not do that by myself. It was a whole team of. I did most of the editing and the visual sets, but the creative work was a team effort. And then from there, it spawned into me. By 2020 is when I really introduced LP Films. And that's when I branched from Dream Effects and started doing stuff just all me and all my writing. But I used friends for voice actors, friends for stars and cameos, and I did like to credit them. And I would do my best to try to get that stuff submitted on IMDb, because I wasn't just representing Second Life and myself here. I was trying to represent myself as a career, as a short film, to say that this is what this platform can do with animation and films. And so I was doing that, and from My Mama Said, we did a lot of little skits, and then with Dream Effects, we did a lot of commercials and weddings and commercials and for people. Man, it's just been so much. We've been doing. I'm trying to think. I'm like, wow, what do we all do?
You had some horror series as well.
The Tales of Twilight is what hit it. When I did the Tales of Twilight, I actually released that, and it got accepted on Amazon Prime.
Wow.
That was awesome time for me. And those 4 episodes got put on Amazon Prime for first season. And then I made another second season with following episodes that were on YouTube. And they were pay-per-view for a while. Then after that, I did Resilient Red X, and that got a review from Film Threat. And then after Resilient Red X became one short film that became 5 short films. I did 5 after that total. And I have some of the actors that are so passionate about it. My brother from Canada, Link, he's so passionate about it. Him and his friend, who's also a voice actor, Hannah, they want me to do another one. So if you guys see another Resilient Red X, they ushered that. They want me to do another one. So it's already the scripts in the work for that. I'm just trying to put it together. And then from there, I did Resilient Red X. After that, I did a dream one. I did that one all on my own. If you'll see that, it's a dream sequence. Oh my God, I'm having a brain freeze.
It's okay. We all do.
It's a short film. It's a short film about a psychiatrist who has the ability to go into see people's dreams. What really inspired this was I grew up watching Nightmare on Elm Street and them crazy 80s movies, the horror flicks, and the movie Dreamscape. And if you've ever seen the movie Dreamscape, or if you've ever seen the movie Inception, imagine those 2 movies pushed together. And that's what I came with this idea with. What if this guy went to therapy people who had trauma into their dreams and tried to help them? Kind of like, you remember the movie by Jennifer Lopez called The Cell? That was another one. if you've ever seen that movie by Jennifer Lopez, she made a movie called The Cell, where she went to the mind of a serial killer to try to help him. That's another inspiration from that. So that's what I made a short film of it. And I was going into the dream of someone who was traumatized. So that was
those were really cool. I think like those.
27 RC was the last one I did. I kind of stopped at episode 4. It's kind of on the table right now. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with that, but that's one that I've also done. It's a spiritual and sci-fi short film. And that's where I'm at. And I'm always making music videos. So if you follow me, you'll always see me posting some short reel or music videos, because that's, when you see my music videos, that's just pure passion. I just got the fire lit under my foot. Ooh, I want to do a music video to this. This song's awesome. And then I'll just start filming myself and doing something cool, and then I'll just turn it into a reel. So that's what I'm doing now. And working in real life, keeping myself a roof over my head, and have awesome roommates who are watching this live feed in the living room. So some of this lingo that you guys are talking, they don't know. Like when you say lindens, they're probably gonna ask me, "What's a linden?"
What?
You know, what's this? And I gotta explain, why is that girl sitting on the couch and she got no legs? I gotta explain that.
Really? Docs, explain, please.
My mom often does the same thing. Yeah.
But it's a virtual community, and I'm very grateful to still be here. And I can't leave it. I mean, I take my breaks.
Amen.
I'm an old guy now, and not old, but I'm up there, and I've been here a long time doing this. But you stay forever young here in SL. I will be 20-something forever in SL. I'll still be making machinimas that are to cool music to young kids that don't even know who I am. But that's where I'm at now. I don't know what else.
That's what we'll have to do, a series of words of wisdom from cartoons to you.
Oh my gosh, yes. SL Lingo 101.
Right?
Yeah. Well, before we go on to the questions and more conversation here, I just want to say thank you all for, introducing yourselves. And I am no pioneer of machinima, but I am a machinima artist myself, and I won't go into details, but I'm so honored to sit up here with you guys today and to be able to share this stage with you all and hear your amazing stories and where you came from and what you're doing today and how you're still continuing to, be completely you. And I love that. We do have some questions that are coming in from the audience as well. We have some particularly for certain people, but I do want to ask kind of a general conversation or question just to kind of get some conversational flow here going. Everybody has had a chance to kind of talk about themselves, and I think that's amazing. And but if you could take today's machinima directors back in time to experience Second Life Machinima in its early days, what do you think would surprise them the most?
The number of times your earrings get stuck in your butt.
Or the spider doesn't work. It has to run up the front steps, but all of a sudden it won't move.
Searching for weeks and weeks for a certain animation, like combing your hair or brushing your teeth, and then you don't have a toothbrush. And if you find a toothbrush on Marketplace, it's bigger than the seat you're sitting on, right? So
and it's
all
no
these
mod.
things. Yeah, it is no mod. It's always no mod. Yeah.
I've actually noticed. I was in a backdrop earlier. And the toothbrushes, it's funny you say that because the toothbrushes in it are actually larger than they should be. I'm like, who brushes their teeth with these things?
Elephants.
Horses.
And always being stuck if you want to go from one sim to the other, sometimes for a week. You keep logging in and your avatar is still stuck. You say, okay, film shoot is off today, come back tomorrow. And then Lyndon said, was it Tuesdays or Wednesdays that they were doing maintenance? So there was no Second Life. It was offline for maintenance.
Yes.
Wednesdays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday. Yeah. And it really hit at European times.
Yeah.
So, yeah. wiped out most of the day for Europeans.
Yeah.
Do you know what the worst was trying to find outfits where you didn't flap around with your legs and stuff going through your legs, stuff going through the hair, and see and stuff. And then you look at it and you go, how does that look so bright? What's going on? Because, you know, like face mesh, everything. Before we had meshes, I remember there was one. It took about 2 weeks for me to find a piece of clothing because I wanted to do everything. I think this was for the first 48 hour that we did. And I remember saying to Fakey, right, what we're going to do, we're not going to make this look like Second Life. There's going to be no fuss out of it that gives it away that it's Second Life. So I said, I don't want any prims going through people's legs because we don't want it to look like that. We tried to find a dress for 2 weeks, and then I think I found it, and I'm like, okay, show me, let's walk. I said, no, go through the legs, get rid of it. And Fakey's like, okay, so Fakey. I harried and I was going, no, that's absolutely wrong, can't do it. But yeah, I mean, I can just going around last weekend and looking at the clothing and looking at people's avatars, they're amazing now. It must be so nice to be able to film with that. So, yeah, come on back to 2012 and try to find a prim dress. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, crazy. The stories. My second day of Second Life, I tried being a tiny, I had a tiny avatar. And then some friends had said, come to this concert. And so I said, okay, but I had no idea how to get human again. And I actually I was like, I can't go out looking like this, you know. You just had to be there. It took me a week to get straightened out. It was so funny.
Not to call out Jordan Rizzo, but sometimes it takes him a week just to get ready too. So it's still happening these days.
Okay, yeah.
I have a funny story to tell.
Okay.
It was back when I used to have an avatar. It was on my alt, and I would be an angel. And I had this like heavenly angel in my profile. So if you looked at my profile, it was like the angel of the Lord or the God. So one day I go into the sandbox. You know, sandboxes were popular for building. And I would go way up in the sky and I would build and I would experiment building. Well, I had bought some kind of hood that does tornadoes, right? And I was like testing the hood out. And I rezzed the tornado on the platform, and then it fell off. And I figured, oh, okay, where'd it go? So I thought, well, it deleted itself. So I log off, right? And I come back the next day, and I have all these IMs from these griefers congratulating me on hitting this, crashing the sim and all this stuff. And then I log on, and I see, you know how you look on the map, and you see the color of what you've rezzed on the map, like a little, I think it's fluorescent.
Yeah.
I thought dot fluorescent dot. The tornado had duplicated itself on the ground and was tossing people around. And imagine them clicking to see who created this tornado, and they see this angel guy. And they're making judgment, and I'm like, and I'm getting all these, and then I get listed on this website for griefers, and I'm like, oh my God, all over just accidentally rezzing that tornado and trying to pose as an angel. Yeah.
Here's another one with Phaylen. Faye, do you remember we went to the hair sim and it crashed every time we TP'd in? We were wearing so much hair.
All right,
we were like making a tower of hair, you know, and Phaylen was saying like, more, you can do more, bitch. more hair, like a tower. And every time we were trying to buy more hair and the sim would crash, you know, they lost a lot of business because it was.
That's a lot of flexies.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
No, that
Do you
was
guys
so
remember
funny.
like the heels that would click, 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 click? Yeah.
Oh, and the bling. Remember the bling?
The bling.
Everybody's wearing bling. Oh, God. It was
I had bling
blinding.
jewelry on before I came over here, and I said to myself, "No, you don't dare wear that."
No.
I almost said something about the bling, then I saw the little pony, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't mention bling.
No,
I remember. I think one of the first things I ever filmed was I did a terrible joke on a friend who lived sort of next door, and they'd given me res rights, and for some reason she felt like her avatar had to go to sleep at night, and she left it logged in asleep. So what we did, do you remember years and years ago there was zombie reses, and so if you stepped on and it would res a zombie. So what we did was we hid behind like a sand dune, and I used my space nav, and I stuck zombie reses in her house because we knew what time she would get up. Right, so she woke up, and there's me filming, and so
You were filming as well. Oh, God.
we were filming, and then you just saw her running out of her house because all these zombies and she didn't know what to do because she just got up in her little AV, and so it was just terrible stuff you could do like that. And then I burnt her house down and videoed it.
I need to see these videos.
It was quite cruel. So
does it still work? That's what I want to know.
And we had all the cages. We would put people in cages, right?
Yeah.
People were really scared of it.
I found that people did more things back in the day when you went AFK than they do now. It's like we respect them now, but back in the day we would mess with you. We would put you.
Yeah.
I think the oldest trick was selecting like 50 textures, then dragging it to somebody's head, and then making their computers crash. And I remember all the pop, and then I must just freeze, log off.
Oh, you are a grateful.
Ooh. Nice
No,
worry.
it was done to me. It was usually Batman or something like that. You know?
Rizzo still pushes people off platforms if you go AFK around him.
That's terrible.
Yeah, sometimes I wouldn't log off because one of my friends was AFK and the others were trying to harm them. And I thought, I need to support them. I need to stand behind them. So at least I had to push two avatars off the ledge, you know. So I was like very protective.
See?
No, do that to my friends, even when they're AFK. Yeah.
And that's why we call you Mama Machinima. Help us, Mama Machinima.
Well, no, one of the biggest things that has ever happened to me because of filming and Second Life and all this over the last 19 years is meeting Hugh Hancock in real life in Leicester, in England. And he looked at me. He's the founder of Machinima.com, right? English guy. He passed away. It's far too young and all that. But when we met, he turned around. He said, "Fancy the father of Machinima meeting the mother of Machinima." And it still gives me goosepimples now. It's the biggest compliment ever. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I love meeting people off SL. It's such a good feeling to, meet people that you worked with and collaborate with and develop friendships with. And
I met so many people in real life. I met Faye. I met Docs. I'm now working on meeting Saffia. Nudge, nudge. Really like to meet him. And you, Loss.
Yes,
when I come to America again, we must meet for coffees.
Heck yeah, I'm down. Maybe I'll come see you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I would love that.
If you come to America, you've got a home.
Yeah, always.
Let us know. Let us know.
Next
Swing
year.
by Southern California. Swing by. I'm an hour out from LA.
I'm in San Francisco often, every other year. So that's not too far away.
No.
I met Lauren Tone, who's in the audience.
Yay.
I met Judy in England. Oh, I met Bevan in Ireland, right?
Wow.
I met, Mo, I see every year. He looks after my cats when I go on holiday, my brother.
Aw.
He's the best cat sitter ever. I met Fakey and Lester. I'm just looking through the audience, but there's so many people I've met. Yeah.
You're just making a list
That's
here.
great.
I love that. Well, so we talked a little bit about like what people here presently would be surprised of in the past. What's a tool added to SL that has made Machinima better than it was back in the day? Like, what do you think is so much better now that you can work with?
Well, things res much better.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
I think it's absolutely stunning now. I think it looks absolutely stunning. I last weekend to basically learn how to walk again, and I'm running a Mac Studio now, and I thought, oh, it's just on media. Let me just shove this whole Firestorm up to Ultra, and I was like, oh. And it lit a little match in me, like, this would be really
But
nice.
you have no legs.
Filming. I know.
Doesn't need them.
I know. Yeah, this is. I've had a tough life in SL, as you can see. I've had a few industrial accidents while filming. But I think you guys are extremely lucky now. I mean, I'm sure that filming takes a terrible toll on machines, on PCs and Macs and stuff, and it does push it. But honestly, I wandered around because I wanted to have a look at avatars and just see how things were going, and you're all very beautiful now. And looking at the shadows, because when I left, last time I was in, shadows were really busy coming in, and I was
you couldn't
playing
film
around
with
with them.
shadows. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. And I remember, because I remember saying to Dora and Fakey last weekend, talking about how I was trying to make mirrors and things. Now, you can do mirrors now. I would build things upside down and make the water extremely flat and make a mirror.
Yeah, we did that for a while.
Yeah.
So I think it's beautiful now, and you've got the chance to make some absolutely amazing stuff. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and our
I remember
computers are a lot better. I remember my first computer was an Aldi computer, and I thought it was fine until I got a real one, and I saw what water can look like in Second Life. And this is 15 years ago, so yeah, it's improved so much. Remember that big machine you had, Toxic, with water cooling? Whenever you were online, I heard the water running through your PC. Like, yeah. But it was fantastic. The quality was great. That was improvement. Yeah.
I was heating my whole house with that one when I was rendering, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Make
Good
a
old
cup of tea
days.
on that.
Yeah.
What about fly cam? Oh, sorry, LP. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just going to say, I remember in 2012 when I was first introduced to SL through this. It was a site called I think it was called Machinima Guild or Machinima Build, and they had a pro and then they had a non-pro for people who were just starting. And I remember they had recommended that I use the 3D connection console. I mean, piece
The
of
mouse.
your computer.
Flycam.
Yeah, and when I did that, that's something I'm happy SL made that possible for me to use that because it really enhanced videography.
Oh, yes.
And then Winlight. I love that when Winlight came out.
Oh, yeah.
That just made everything so stunning. That's what did it for me, was the wind lights and then the controlling of the camera. Other than that, the rest was about your imagination. And we were ugly then, but we didn't know we were ugly. Okay, we didn't know we glamourified our preemie bodies, and
We did. I thought I was the hottest ever. I was like, I'm so fine.
Me too.
our flexing.
We're all fly.
I had a what was her name? The chick off of Charmed. What, I forgot her name. I had a skin that matched her. an actress. And I was like, oh, I get to be her in SL. It was so cool.
Yeah, I found myself so pretty. I applied as a pole dancer, but they said, no, you're a noob, not with that body. And I thought, but I'm pretty. I have boobs, I have nipples. No, can't hire you. So, yeah, we're all in love with our own avatar. I think we still are. That hasn't changed.
But
we
I love
associate with it.
Yeah. I love looking back though, because it almost feels like when I do look back, it's like I see it's like she's younger. It almost looks like as my Avi, as I have lived through, because I've been in SL since 2006 or something like that. And it seems like over the years, my Avi has just matured. She looks older. Back in the day, she looked a lot younger. And I just feel like that was Loz when she was young, you know? That's how I've always looked at it. And it's kind of cool to look back and see those older pictures and things like that. So.
I tell you.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say one thing that machinima making that I think has really improved is being able to use not just animations and get custom animations made, but also using things like choreographers' HUDs so that you can actually make sequences. Now, Pet will understand this because
I know where you're going.
In the Black and Mirror, we had this sequence when the main character stalked off in a temper and walked down a 1930s street and was followed by two other characters and then a final character behind them. And he got to a point and they were talking to him, trying to persuade him not to go. And finally, the heroine said something that really triggered him, and he stopped dead, turned round, and started yelling at them because they knew things that they shouldn't. So, short, dramatic scene. We spent about 8 hours filming that because,
timing.
The timing was impossible. One person would stop and turn round, and then the others would walk smash into him.
If we had had 3 cameras or what's it, spot on? If we had had anything like that.
Yeah. Because then we discovered spot on when we came to do Omega Hex. And when we came to do the second series of the Black and Mirror, and the way I persuaded the entire cast to go with spot on was that we basically, Tara Volitant and I, set up that scene, but we had spot on so that they would all move in the correct order at the correct time. And everyone just went, oh my God, because I got that.
Okay, we'll do it. Okay, we'll do it if you use that. Yeah.
And spot on now, you can also put your sets into spot on too, so they can move around and things like that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we were using it for things like explosions and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember.
Go ahead.
I remember back in the day having to tell people, okay, on the count of 3, we're all going to push the button at the same time.
Yeah, right. Dreamer.
Or they had the bigger pose stands where it came like with 10 people, but you all had to be in the line. So
I started using Spot On when I hosted a show called The Nile. I don't know if anyone ever attended one of my Nile
Sounds
events.
familiar.
But The Nile, it was sort of like a spiritual exercise, cultural, covering African and Japanese and yoga and all of that. But you were on a barge, and then I had a rotoscope simulated visuals around you to make you seem like you were in a different environment. and I would play music to it. And that's when I used Spot On. I made these little steps that people could stand on, and I synchronized everyone, and that's how I was introduced to Spot On. But then I also knew a person who did dances, and she would use Spot On, and she told me I could use this you could do a lot of stuff with this LP. You should try Spot On. And so I started. That's how I was introduced to it. It was referred to me as someone who does live shows. So yeah, that's how I got introduced to that one.
It's like the Dazzlers for 1 Billion Rising.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And Faye, you had that Divas series, right? And you're working on a huge comeback of that. Are you using any nice tools?
I am, yeah. So Diva started in, I think, 2006, and the first season, and then it came back in 2011 for the second, I believe. I could be totally wrong. And the last episode of that was in 2017, so we're talking years. And in the last place I left her, she was singing horribly. She was singing a song up on a hill in World of Warcraft, and an orc threw a pan at her face. And knocked her out. And so and she sort of just appeared in World of Warcraft. We never really got a lot of backstory of how she got there, or what the process was. Or in Divas 3, I get to fill in all of those missing points, those missing plot points for people. Because what we learn about her is that she quantum leaps through virtual worlds wherever her creator has made a character with her name. So, she's been all over throughout virtual worlds in that sense. So using, I'm one of those early adopters that when a new technology arises, I have to know how it works and what it does, and if it can be used for storytelling, and if it's possible to achieve what I want to achieve with it. And so creating, as Toxic had pointed out earlier, Second Life is absurd. We're ridiculous. We have a ridiculous. I've been sitting here holding my boob for the last hour, with one hand. So, we do these wild things. I remember one time I was sitting me and Kit, who Divas would have never happened without Evie Fairchild and Kit Maitland and Stamp Shady Grimm and so many others. We had so many extras that participated and gave us their time and gave it a sense of authenticity, because it really is Divas' Second Life's daughter. And we had such a grand time doing it. And Kit and I were sitting in some shop looking for hair, and a pregnant cow on roller skates just went by. Pregnant cow on roller skates. Where in the world is that? And I thought to myself, Second Life is the peak of absurdity, which is what makes it so creative, right? You can see anything here. It doesn't, and nobody asks why. Do you know, nobody flinched at that cow.
You did.
Another day, yeah.
Right. So now we have. I think that AI is equally absurd. I mean, you're rendering people with 6 hands and 5 legs, and no matter how you try to make it appear realistic, it absolutely hallucinates. And Second Life was a big dream in a lot of ways for so many of us. And I kind of think it's the same. So when I thought to myself many years ago, well before the advent of any AI as we know it today, I didn't know where to go next. I had dabbled with some Final Fantasy. I had thought maybe, I would take her into a different kind of, back then I thought, well, maybe I will drop her into the real world, because I think that there's I did a mixed media film called Harbinger. I can't tell you what year it was.
Oh, that was very scary. That kept me awake at night. That was a scary.
I love the
talk
scary.
about scary.
I love mixed media. Can we see it somewhere?
Oh, it's on YouTube. And everything is on. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Harbinger was done, I think, around Halloween. And,
don't watch it before you go to sleep.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, I mean, I suppose it's more, it was a little prescient for its day, because it was about how to protect yourself in anonymous environments, so you don't end up at risk. And this was a worst case scenario, of course. But at the same time, I was really enchanted by the idea of mixing medias to kind of reveal a little bit of what how we interface as humans with virtual reality and what we use it for. And there are, of course, relationships established and families established and longtime friendships established. And so that was really part of what pushed me in that direction. And it wasn't until probably last year. At first, I was really, I was very anti-AI. I found it creepy. I thought it was weird. I wasn't going to touch it. I didn't like that it knew things about me that I hadn't told it. But then I guess that was Google. Google. But at the same time, the more that I researched, and I had to do my due diligence because I'm also a very ethical kind of nature person. I'm a tree-hugging hippie. And so it was really important for me to make sure that in pursuit of artistic credibility and storytelling, I didn't put my people at risk. I didn't want to hurt Mother Earth. I'm a very nature-oriented person. And when I understood and did my homework, I thought, you know what? It seems like the most likely place Phaylen would go after this is to be dropped into some place as absurd as Second Life. As actually absurd and meet the inhabitants of this new place in the same form and fashion that she met the orcs and the troll that tried to marry her, and the snot bowl and the dinosaur that pushed her off a cliff, and she went through all of these things. And so I thought her calamities should continue for 8 episodes in AI, and we're now doing episode 4. So there's 3 in the bag, but because AI, I thought I was under the misunderstanding, as well as other people maybe, that AI was just a one-button click and you did what you told it to do. And that's an absolute atrocious lie, because I have probably spent more time trying to perfect scenes using that platform than I have ever in Machinima. And it's really, no matter how detailed it looks, if a string doesn't go the right way, if something doesn't, it's sort of reminiscent of our early days trying to manage our animations so our head wouldn't, dip into our neck and our legs didn't fly over our head. Well, mine did many times. But, it was more or less we had to sort of angle things. We had to cheat the camera. We had to figure things out. It's not tremendously different. It's not something so notorious. And, of course, creating the scenes and setting this. I'm quite looking forward to putting her back in front of her pink house. That, I think, is going to be such a wonderful experience. But I think it's actually going to be easier for me to transition at the end of season. I probably shouldn't say what happens at the end of season 3 because it's huge. We've gotten a lot of unique interest. I've shared some songs because Divas 3 is a musical, because AI people sing, they dance, they laugh, they fight, they dispute, but they're also all AI. So they're discarded renders, things people didn't want, and just deleted, and they still persist to exist in those spaces. And so there was I was fascinated by what we could do with regard to storytelling in that medium using more, I guess I'm vintage technology now, guys.
I wonder what you're going to do now. How will you film in Second Life? You're coming back, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. Because, I call Second Life throughout the course of Divas has always been the home star. So no matter where Phaylen went, she was self-aware. She knew as an avatar. She knew that where she was from. She knew who her friends were. She knew where she didn't belong. And in World of Warcraft, she knew she didn't belong there. She just tried to make the best of it. And in AI, it's very much the same situation, except she's been thrust into the inhabited body of another Phaylen. And she wakes up on a stage where they're belting out a tune and the lights explode and she's scared to death and she doesn't know what she's doing there or how she got there. In fact, that's one of the songs, Happy to Be Here. Don't know how I got here. Have no idea where I am. Yesterday was a different world. Guess the universe has a new plan. So that's where we kick off with Divas 3. I'm quite excited about it, but it has been a labor of love and it's been leading to this point for probably the last 18 years now.
And will there be a sparkle pony in your Divas? Burning question.
That's a good question because, I don't forget where my home is and who my audience are. I love Second Life. I love the people that I've met here. Second Life is my second home, and it will always be. I have an incredible devotion and love for this place that is never been exceeded by any other place I visited. So the desire to come home, and in respect to all the people who've supported me over the years, there are so many Second Life Easter eggs in Divas 3. Callbacks, and Second Life, but the platform itself plays a very pivotal role, because for the first time she has an opportunity to go home, and that's what we've been spending the last 18 years trying to achieve for her.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Great journey that she's on. I'm glad that you touched base on your work with the AI, because we had a question from Yanni who was going to ask, I noticed you're blending your old footage with AI recently as an established SL filmmaker. Where do you see AI fit into SL-based mixed media film? And do you feel like you answered that question completely with everything that you just said? Do you feel like you want to maybe...
Sure, I elaborate. I think there is any kind of technology that's burgeoning in the tech industry, something like AI. I know that back in my day, you have to remember there was like iClone and iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. That was the standard. And then we graduated. It kind of made, by force of necessity and desire and passion, that I think is how the unlikely people like me and Toxic and Chantal, who was waiting at a club door as a tiny, letting people in and asking for IDs. That's how we became efficient with Adobe Premiere Pro, and we learned to edit, and we learned to become these actual filmmakers that the world kind of gave us credit for being, even if it was a little bit later on. Because at first, I remember showing people my machinima well before Divas, and it was deeply criticized as, this is just a series of screenshots. This is just video game footage. You just hit record. There's not a lot of, there's no sense to it. It is an actual artistic integrity that you're preserving here. It's just craps and you're recording. And there was a lot of stigma in the early days, and a lot of pushback, especially from people who were filmmakers in the real world, felt that, machinima was sort of kids play, a hobbyist thing. Well, now they can read about us in college academic textbooks.
I love that. Yes, that right there. We are here to stay.
Yeah, I was told by a very well-known SL artist, probably still around, that machinima was not an art form. And I was highly offended by that because back then we were pushing the ground. We were pushing to not be seen as just doing, like Phaylen said, it's just screenshots, it's just video footage, we really did fight to be seen as doing serious stuff, and I was quite angry, and back then I was really quite naughty in Second Life, and I held myself back and was quite the adult that day when they said, no, this is not an art form. You're just making a record of pieces of art. And I was like, sorry, I wanted to use the F word, but I didn't.
Do they know how lucky they were?
The one time you didn't.
Yeah.
I want to.
I would have done.
Yeah. You would have?
I would have used
You don't know
word.
Yeah. One of the
I have the same thing. Somebody tells me you just register events that happen. I said, yeah, you want to see the machinima I made with Stellark? Do you guys know Stellark, the real life artist, Australian? He puts flesh hooks into his back and swings from one building to the other. He had an artificial robot arm. He had an ear implanted on his arm. He's bat crazy, but fantastic. Performance artist. He came, Stellark. He came to Second Life and I was asked to film, and he did a performance called The Body is Obsolete, right? And I thought, let's make the avatar obsolete. So it took a huge risk. I filmed inside his avatar head. You see the eyeballs and the tongue and the teeth. And I called it The Avatar is Obsolete. And I risked his doom and blast. But he came back to me and he said, oh, fantastic. You've added to my show. So is machinima art? Yes. If the Creator is an artist. It doesn't matter which medium you use. And never say so and so is not art, that and that is not art. If you call it art, it's art. Don't let anybody tell you.
Yes.
I had the same
I give
anger.
credit to Dragster.
Oh,
Dragster
gosh.
for pushing that out there to the point to where people see it and they see that it's art, because he did so much showcasing SL in so many ways.
I helped Drax on his way when he just started, so I know Drax really, really well. He's very good. He used to be so good. His reportership,
One of the things I said to him, because when he asked me, what I told him. What I try to do with my Machinima is to present it in a way to where people will ask you what platform is that from. If they can be from SL and wonder if that's from SL, then I think I was successful in that.
You did.
I was trying to grab every aspect of mesh that I could when it was introduced, and then show it and then see, can you tell what platform that's from? Because I didn't like it when I saw a comment on one of my music videos and someone said, "Oh, PS2 animation," and I was like, "Arr." It's like, okay, I see what you're trying to say. It's like, so I like to push the envelope. Is what I'm trying.
I love showing people who are in my RL, quote unquote RL life, the videos that I make in SL, because they just find them so fascinating and so amazing, because they're like, what is this? Like, where are you? Like, what are you doing? Is this a game? What is this exactly? Yeah. Yeah, they love it. They love it. One of the
film isn't going to be great. It's not going to be the pinnacle of technical innovation. It's going to be a challenge, and you're going to see all those flaws later on. Every single one. What other people want.
Yeah. If you guys still have your first videos, pop them into the local chat here. We would love to see, one of your first videos. I can even do one of mine too. Speaking of art, though, one of the main reasons why Rizzo started illuminating Machinima, getting it out there on SLEA, was because he didn't feel like he saw enough people seeing Machinima as an art form. There's a huge world out there that doesn't know that you can make Machinima in SL, and it is art, and it is here to stay. And, there's a whole world to create and a whole world to film. So
I love stories. I love your stories. I love to watch stories. I love things that have a beginning, middle, and end. So when Second Life has some of the most innovative storytellers I've ever, and back in probably 2017, I went to NYU for film directing and screenwriting, which was really propelled by my experiences in Second Life. That really fed the desire to leverage different platforms to tell stories. I don't think that we have a right to really gatekeep people, but I understand now. I think that a lot of things have been gatekept, because now in Second Life, you've got your own studios. You've got your whole kit. You're not having to spend $2 billion to create your idea and to put your language into a space, into a piece of art that other people can appreciate, understand. Even if they're critical, I think that's I get criticized a lot. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me at all. I think that criticism is something you have to just accept. And especially if you're going to be on the edge of new innovations, if you're going to be standing at junctures where new technologies are emerging, you're going to get attacked. You're going to be criticized. People are going to tell you should not do that. And that's what they told us a long time ago, that, that doesn't qualify as art. This is hobby. Well, you know what I mean? It's going, you're going to have your naysayers. Just tell them to go back, get the horse and buggy and ride themselves away.
Yeah. And Machinima is not, there's so many Machinima, there's so much Machinima out there in the world. There's so many different games that people are making Machinima from. There's Unreal Engine. There's, other than just SL, there's so much there. And I know Rizzo was making some ads for SLVCG, and he was trying to say, hello, hey guys, we're here, we're making Machinima in SL. You can come to SL and also make Machinima. To all of those Machinima artists out there in the world, he's trying to call attention to bringing it into SL, bringing more people here to make Machinima. So
and exactly, your work is relevant, guys. So you are still, just because we look like artifacts up here from a different era.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, well,
I'm an artifact.
yeah. Well, we all.
I've got I've got a good story. So it's not just. I agree that this is art. I agree, but it's also a force for change, and I've probably not told anybody this. Although I think Phaylen and I think Chantal know this. Oh God, I can't even remember what it was, and I had to put it on a different YouTube channel, which I'm not even sure still exists. But I made a video, and what was it? Second Life. I don't know if anybody remembers it, and it went kind of viral with Second Life, because I was basically taking the piss out of the fact that the Lindens all look like noobs, and how could they understand the world they were in and the world they created if they made no attempt to actually look as good as the people that were in it? How, and so basically it was a charity drive video. It was like, for 25 Linden, you can buy a Linden Lab employee some proper hair, or some nice shoes. Just so these poor Lindens, they don't know how to walk. When you see them, be nice to them. And what happened was, apparently that video was sent around the office, and everybody that worked at Linden Lab was told that they had to go and dress like a normal resident because of it. So we've got a real power.
Yeah, we do. I remember because of that, they invited us for a weekly or monthly meeting, asking us. The Lindens came to my sim back then and asked, what can we do to improve Second Life? And there's toxic and me.
Manager.
Yeah,
the marketing manager and somebody else. I think it was Blue, and it was me, you, and Phaylen, and we sat there
and Red,
and we told them off, didn't we? We said, "Well, you've got no idea what's going on in Second Life."
You girls nearly went offline when I said, "Well, for starters, I would never call myself second." Maybe that's Dutch sense of humor, but they're all saying in my eye, you can't say that. You can't say that. So,
but they used to, because we did that podcast, didn't we? Do you remember when it was Phaylen's fault, because Phaylen just got us all talking about stuff and how we would improve it and how things are really bad and all of this. And it got sent all the way around the office, and that was when they started coming and meeting us and talking to us, and we were going, well, I don't understand why you're doing this, because it's absolutely rubbish. You all look terrible and you look like you don't care. And yes, we told them off for everybody else.
And you took me shopping for hours. I still have that outfit. So we looked on top of the world. I was a human avatar then, not a robot. And we looked like really posh and really latest fashion, everything. Yeah, so that was... It didn't last, did it? They came a few times and then... never heard again.
And nothing changed, but but that was, we had the power to make them listen, and it was because of what we did and what we filmed, and I did a couple of stuff. I mean, Phaylen did loads of work for SLBs, and I sort of helped her on a couple of them, but I also did some SLB trailer videos and stuff like that,
You did Burning Man, recorded at Burning Man, remember?
Oh my God, I remember that.
The Burning Man and the one that you did, Faye. I was sort of like, that was when
the promo she did, with They Are Coming, with the drums. Oh, the start of it was so exciting, really good. Yeah, they did come to us for videos, didn't they?
I love a good audio, music, sound effects that really pulls together a lot of videos, a lot of films that we have out there. You're talking about drums, and I think it's really cool when even just the audio alone can help move Machinima.
That was always my sticking point, was audio. When I'd watch a Machinima, audio was always a priority. Like, I don't care if your heels were up your butt, if your hair was falling off, if you were, missing a lash, if you looked ridiculous in the frame. If the sound felt like it was tinny, or if it didn't match, or if it felt, really, really ludicrous and out of place, that was always where it got me. Everywhere. That's always what distracted me from the story that was trying to be told, was the quality of the audio. And I don't think people have much of a problem with that now. I think our we've got huge stockpiles of sound effects and music and things like that. And now you can write your own and do all of that. So it's sort of like we have this whole kit now with us in order to achieve what we want to, in order to share with the world. And that's really, I think, what the goal for each of us is to tell our story, or a story that we're passionate about. And I don't think that there should be roadblocks. If you can access it, use whatever you can to tell it. Nobody told an artist not to use a webcam because she wasn't a real artist.
Technology has improved. I think that's why the audio is better.
Yeah. Saffia, you have done films as well. Do you have any input on the audio aspect of, making and creating?
We actually eventually moved to creating voice in post-production, just because it's easier to lip sync if you actually have the actor in the studio reading their lines or speaking their lines in parallel with the lip movements, rather than trying to fit the two together. So as for Omega Hex, we actually ended up doing most of the sound in post-production.
That's how I worked as well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were you saying? Sorry, what?
Which is a bit sad, I think. But that's why the sound actually improved on the on the series of Omega Hex from the Black and Mirror, where the lip sync is quite often a bit off.
Yeah, I find that when I'm doing the editing for, like, for example, the director showcases, and I'm speaking, the films that I do as well have always been post-production audio as well. And when I do things like the director's showcase, when I do the edits for that, Rizzo will pass me the audio, and then I'll have to put everything with my footage together on the timeline. And when I kind of sync it up, I follow, sometimes I use hand movements, or if I'm saying a certain word, I find that, like, if I say, I don't know, hello, then my mouth needs to open a little bit more. So I find that spot on my Avi where the mouth is opening a little bit more, and then it seems to sink in. And I've also found that when you have hand animations too, I love a good talking hand animation. When you have a good hand animation too, the eyes are kind of distracted a little bit by the hand movement too. So you've now created not just an Abby sitting there and talking, but you've actually brought that Abby alive too. So now they're moving their hands, and you can focus on the hands and not just the lips as well. And it's it's kind of like when you find when you find some really, really good moments of, wow, that hit, that's on point, that's hit, then people tend to forget the other little mistakes, or the ones that aren't exactly lined up. It's kind of like what Rizzo says about audio and putting music to a dance video. When you find those beats, when those beats hit just right as that person's spinning, or that person's doing like dropping to the ground, or whatever it is, when you find that beat, some of the ones that are off a little bit aren't as noticeable because you have those very strong points. And that's the same idea that I use when I do my audio too, is I focus on some strong points, and then the rest just kind of mold and create something, that is good. So
that's what makes you familiar, because I bet you never thought about how audio sounds on film before until you had to make it sound.
Yeah.
It kind of pushes us to the point where we inhabit a different realm for our own psyche in terms of artistic integrity, because we're so used to being an observer, not a creator. And once you become in that throw of being a creator, you want to make sure that everything you put out, nobody's going to look at it and say, oh, her lips didn't match those words.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more about, when it comes to video, it's not just, it's not just about the people are the actors. You have voice actors, you have people coming on and standing on poses and things like that. And it's not just about that. It's about how you've orchestrated it with, yes, animations, but also it's a lot of post-production work too. You cut your scene at a certain time to, you make her move a certain way, or you do audio a certain way, you match the audio to a certain beat, and that really helps evolve the story as well.
I like the tricks that you can use to kind of mask it, where you put a person that's talking, filming them from the back, and the person they're talking to is in the foreground.
Yeah.
Or you film the person from the side in a wide shot and they're kind of far away, but their mouths are moving, but you can't really see real close if it's in sync or not. So those are little tricks you can do to kind of tweak it, to try to, when you can't get the lips to be in sync. But I was going to say one thing about AI. AI can do that really well. And I found myself taking screenshots of myself in a green screen and then applying it to AI, and then AI can make the movement of the lips perfect.
That's
another
good
thing I was going to suggest to anyone, because I know she mentioned using AI, is I found out ChatGPT is really good with your descriptions. Like if you can't figure out how to word it for AI to do it right, tell ChatGPT, I want to do this with this person's face. How do I tell AI to do that? And they'll give you a description in detail of how to tell AI to do it. So that way you don't have those glitches and those 3 legs and those 5 fingers and stuff like that.
So you use AI to prompt AI, right? Brilliant. I love it. I love
the
it.
id, the super ego, and the AI ego.
Well, if you look here,
the important part
Svetlana
with
in the
that
audience. Sorry,
no, go
Svetlana
ahead.
made a video just from stills in Second Life, right? That was you? Yeah. She did brilliant prompts, and she made a video like that. So we can make AI the devil or the king. It's neither of that. It's a tool for filmmaking anyway. And what the rest of the world does with it, it's quite scary probably, but it's just a tool for us filmmakers at this moment.
Well, that's the thing is, there's so many. Unfortunately, we're in the wild west of that realm now. That technology. In much the same way we were at the beginning of virtual worlds, people were scared that somebody would find your address and come and kill you, and you would do all these horrible things around you if you were on some video game. And there was a lot of hysteria about it, and then it was celebrated, and we were on the cover of Newsweek and Time magazine and all of these other things. And then it kind of tapered off the attention to Second Life specifically. And then we saw other worlds try to simulate what had been achieved here. For example, like Google Lively, Facebook Meta Worlds tried to involve themselves in virtual worlds. But nothing has been ever in my opinion, has ever been able to achieve what Linden Lab has with Second Life.
I agree. Yeah.
Someone just asked a question in the audience too. A demo asked, do you guys believe SL avatars will be live AI generated one day, or will another platform be first?
I would have to say no platform will be like Second Life exactly. Rather than try to guess who will be first or better. Because SL is good.
Yeah, it's the best. It's really the best. I mean, just look at Loth here. She's a gorgeous. This is unbelievably beautiful to me. You are stunning, and that's cinematic to me. And when I look at somebody who's cinematic, I want to tell a story about them. I want to get inside and talk about like where they were and what they did and how their life is.
I will be movie star girl.
Oh, honey, yes.
To answer that question, I just wanted to say I think the users are going to determine that, the future users, how it goes, because SL is going to lean towards what the users dominantly do and use. So if the users of the future start using AI like that and it just becomes like this dominant thing, that's when Second Life will tap into it and probably apply it to their platform and try to represent it more. But right now it's hard to say. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. I would like to it to track a little bit better. I think it would be great if it was a little bit better tracking, like if, it doesn't make your eyes go wonky, if it doesn't, make your mouth go weird. I think it's a great tool to use as long as it looks natural. When it starts looking a little crazy, it's like I can't focus on the film because it takes me out of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We do have another question here. One day, the Machinima directors created films today will be considered the pioneers of this era of Second Life Machinima. Assuming Second Life is still around in another 20 years, let's all cross our fingers. I don't know what we would do, but anything that we can cross here. What do you think? Will look back on from today's Machinima community and say that's what defined that generation of creators?
Wow, that's hard.
That is
maybe
hard.
The growth.
It's like I say to my kid, respect your mother because she grew up without Google. She went to school without Google. So so what's the I don't know.
There are pretty much, I can see in the audience, there are people I would qualify as veterans, even sitting in the audience, people who've been creating,
right?
People like Penumbra, people who have actively challenged themselves. The 48-hour film festival, the Machinima sector, was a great opportunity for us to challenge ourselves, to see what we could achieve in small sections of time. And I think that over the years, if you can watch Toxic's films, you can watch Chantal's films, you can watch my films, and I'm sure others as well as Saffia, you can watch the evolution of our craft, because each one gets better. Everyone gets better. You can see what we're learning and how we're adapting and what changes that we've implemented because we found, better tools or better technology. And that, I think, is alone sort of a catalyst to make you go further every time.
I'm really interested to hear Talks. What your opinion is. You haven't been in SL lately, and I've heard that you've taken on a new little art form yourself. But being outside of SL, what would you say defines this generation of creators versus the generation that you were filming in?
It's really interesting. I can't remember when I was last in SL apart from last weekend. So I probably would say it's at least 6 years ago, at least. And I can see that you guys have an amazing amount of beauty and technological prowess. You're talking about things that I would never have thought about, like mouth tracking and stuff like that. I just made sure that I had Phaylen doing any voice tracks I wanted to do, so nobody just laughing anyway. I think the beauty that you're bringing, I think the skill that you're using, I think the using AI is really exciting. It's like you said, I do astrophotography now. That's my thing now. It's very, very similar in a weird way to what I used to do, because my telescope, I'm in the UK, obviously, as you can tell, and my telescope is in Texas. So I log in to my telescope, which is 5,000 miles away.
Wow.
Which is a scary piece of equipment, and I control it from there. It takes me 45 hours to do one image, which I then process. So it's a very technical thing. And then I try and make it as pretty as I can. And then I put it out for people to see. So I feel like I'm kind of still doing an art form that is technically quite difficult to do. What we do is really easy when you know what you're doing. When you don't know what you're doing or you're still learning, it's incredibly difficult. And there's a steep learning curve. And so I think really it's the same as everybody on that sofa had to go through such a steep learning curve. There is buttons on the SL client that I did not know what it did, and I was scared to touch. And everybody still feels like that, you know? And then you'll find stuff. And when I was in last weekend, I was like, I've forgotten so much because I've just not done it. And the muscle memory was kind of there, but it wasn't completely there. So my hat goes off to you because this has obviously changed so much, and you're still doing it and you're still pushing. And, you know, I think that's what you need to be remembered for, because you're still pushing, because it's still a baby art.
Yeah.
You know, so keep doing it, keep keep being bloody weird.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, just learning the Xbox controller for Flycam was a task in itself.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you learn one thing and then you do the next video and you learn the next thing. You know, and I went back and looked at some of my machinima over the past couple of weeks since Chantal had asked me to go in, and I was like, you know, there's videos that I really love still. I absolutely adore Little Red Riding Hood. If you've not seen that, please go and watch it, because Phaylen is fantastic in it. And also,
make sure you put your links in.
Yeah, I'll stick a link in. And Petrovsky Flux, which Tracy Harwood, I believe, still uses in her courses for machinima, which is pretty bloody beautiful. And also Lucid Journey, which we won 48-hour film project with, was just 48 hours. It was worse than childbirth. I'm sure of it. You know? And my enduring memory is Fakey screaming at me at 4 o'clock in the morning. He can't have rendered already. What are you talking about? Something's gone wrong. But it was all okay. But you know, in the end, we ended up going to Taos to film a Palooza to watch it on a big screen. And my best memory from that is, it was a very quiet. It was up on the big screen. Everybody that had won their particular city, we were a city, and there was one shot which I was particularly proud of, that I heard the people in the row next to me going, "Fucking hell, that was cool," and I was like, "Yes, we've done it." Yeah. So keep doing it. Don't stop. Keep pushing yourself, because they bring out new stuff. You've just got to go with it and just keep being weird, because the weirder you are, the better it is. Don't be scared.
It's okay if you don't like every tool that comes out. I mean, there's, for example, we have Reshade, which is a new, well, it's not new, but it's a tool that people are using to enhance shaders and enhance things in Second Life to make things more pretty. Are any of you guys using that?
No, but I'm going to try it now.
So you can bring it in to add lighting. You can bring it in to add overlays. You can bring it in to add, you know, gloss and blur. You can bring it into depth of field. I mean, you can enhance your whole entire Second Life just by adding this tool to your viewer. And a lot of people are using it now. I mean, if you've seen Mooley, her videos are stunning, absolutely stunning. And she uses reshade and color grading to help with that as well. But again,
LP that said something about Winlight earlier. And Winlight was those things that absolutely shifted the way that I filmed in life, because it allowed me not just to control the avatars or the animations, but also the entire environment. And I abused it. I abused that privilege. Like, I think most of the final season, the final episode of Divas, which is an extra long episode, the one where I get zapped off to World of Warcraft, is this. It's got this soupy, foggy green mist through every scene. But I was like, I should have edited myself and arranged it, but it was a new thing, and I just had to use it to the max. I wasn't one for being subtle about my art.
Really? You?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that people, like, not everybody uses these tools that come out for us, and that's okay. If it's not your thing, you don't have to use these tools. If you want SL looking like SL and you don't want to have any outer tools like AI or reshade, anything like that, like obstruct the view of your SL, then that's okay. If you want to add these things, I think one of the most amazing things that I've witnessed is that people are even developing their own kind of tools to use in SL too. They're developing things like, oh, I want my avatar to get from point A to B, but I can't seem to figure it out. So they create, again, Mooley created a HUD that you could jump on this arrow and it moves you across the screen so that you don't have to sit there and try to walk your own Abby as you're walking into a building or something. I have another friend, a big shout out to him, Meso Vortex, who is creating, he's brilliant. He's creating this light show, completely different light show, so that the lights are moving with music. And that alone could enhance a machinima as well.
Yeah.
Every beat of the music, the lights, and it's not just lights, it's like images. He's created like deers that form out of these light images, and like just it's spectacular,
That's so strange you mentioned that. I just created something like that.
Did you?
Because I got tired of that too. That whole walking in place and having to move your camera to simulate your movement.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I want my avatar to actually move, but in sync with that step, not so fast. And so I had to create this little thing. And what I used was a train script, the same script that makes people move from one location to another. But I just turned it into something you can stand on with an animated walk on it. And it moves slowly, so it makes you. So then you can film your avatar moving. But that's interesting that someone else did the same thing in a different way.
Yeah, and people are using all kinds of scripts. I think she also did another thing where she wanted these. She was doing a video where these tables. She wanted to show the idea of decorating your home. So she took a script from a hammer, like a hammer that would go up and down on a wall, and she used that script to create these moving tables to come in and look like they were appearing out of, nowhere. I just think it's awesome that people are creating all these tools that they can use for machinima and just a part of their SL, period. Scripts alone can be taken from anything. If you want your avatar to move in circles, you just find something that moves in circles. You can attach it to your, you can attach it in a way that moves your Abby too.
I just got to creating or helping to create someone. There's a friend of mine, and she has her own show. She's doing her own machinima. She's new. Her name is Jasmine, and she's creating a Pop the Balloon show. And I helped her with the Pop the Balloon, where a person holds it and they pop the balloon, and I helped her with the Pop the Balloon sound. And,
that's awesome, because when do we see that? Yeah.
That's real popular right now on YouTube, the Pop the Balloon game, where you date someone and you pop them if you don't like them. So that's on sale now.
Yeah, Chief is doing that, right?
Yeah, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
Sapphire. I'm sorry. Did I say Jasmine? I'm Sapphire.
I was thinking what you were saying about reshade. Now, some people like to film using the Black Dragon viewer as opposed to, say, Firestorm. And it occurs to me that maybe Black Dragon and viewers like that are using something similar to reshade, so it's actually baked into the viewer. I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah, they have always appeared. I love using Black Dragon, but it is so hard on my machine.
Yeah.
But maybe they are using something similar to that. I know that, like you were mentioning, Phaylen, you were mentioning wind lights, how you wanted to start trying to use those. I think that was you, I believe. I know Rizzo was telling me the other day that he's completely given up on wind lights now because of reshade. He doesn't even touch wind lights anymore. Yeah.
Amazing. That sounds like something. Well, the more story is king, so the more that you can make your environment fit your story, and the more that can translate to your audience. If it's dark and scary and gloomy, you want to achieve that kind of environment. You want to excite your viewer to feel like they're in some kind of threat or danger, or it's ominous type of thing. You know, back then it was really just all we could do was kind of try to bring up our saturation in our timeline. It was much more difficult to achieve it then than it is today. So I'm so glad we have tools like that, because it's improving the quality of people's work.
Yeah. And just to call back to Muli again, Muli Pardon, she's also making a new viewer for Second Life that is meant to have everything that Machinima directors are going to want. So if there's something that you guys think that you want in your viewer, you can always pass it to me or Jordan, and we can get it to her, and she can try to incorporate it into the viewers. So
good.
I apologize for dropping Muli's name again, but she's such a pioneer as well, so she deserves her flowers in this too. So
absolutely.
Muli Pardon.
There's also Kirsten's viewer, which people seem to forget about, and that's also very good for filmmakers. Kirsten's viewer.
Kirsten's viewer. That's what I used for Divas. Every episode was filmed in Kirsten's viewer.
He's updating it all the time, so yeah, it's worth exploring.
What tools and what is what's it like?
It's very light. You can get a really high frame rate with shadows and everything you're used to. And I find the light is a lot better. I'm always in Firestorm, but even the Linden Lab viewer has better light than Firestorm. But I find Firestorm so easy. I'm used to it. But Kirsten's viewer is really worth getting into. It's different. It feels very light. It also has a stereo option, you know, with the red and blue glasses.
Specifically built. Yeah, it was specific Machinima. So it was definitely. I think I did Little Red Riding Hood in that because it was so easy, and it had some nice presets for wind light. Although I sort of heavily modded all that.
I'm told by Linden Lab. Do you remember those meetings that we were having with Robin and Blue and those? That part of their purpose for interfacing with us in particular was they wanted to improve the quality of the viewer for Machinima artists, for filmmakers. Even though that didn't come to pass, it was really exciting to think about already with what we could do, what the potential was.
Yeah, these videos are still online. I recorded all of them, the meetings with the Lindens, all the talk, all the ideas from back in that time. Some are still relevant now. And I mean, it's hard to watch a 1 hour video, but yeah. The popping in and out of objects when you zoom in or out from a distance, I would really like to solve that, because we are used to it. But if you show a video in which objects pop and buildings pop in and out to people outside of Second Life, they laugh and say, "What's this?" Yeah.
A lot of the gaming platforms, those worlds are all preloaded, and on SL it's not preloaded. It's loaded when it's within your range. So we are all subject to that, no matter what. As long as we're on SL, until they change the nature of SL, we're always going to be subject to that. That's why I'm always trying to get a good working PC that can handle a large amount of people or a large amount of rezzing objects at a distance, but it can be a challenge sometimes.
Yeah, I always go into pre-res, but yeah, if you're talking about what would you like in a new Machinima viewer, well, that would be a wish of mine. Yeah.
Isn't that
The first thing I like them to do is change the default stand. The default stand.
The
Go in
default
there and
stand.
change
Yeah.
it. Just change it, please.
Yeah, anything.
We're all tired of it.
Definitely tired of it. Yeah.
But doesn't this isn't that what makes SL magic? Is the fact that because people are creating everything you need, or you'll get to know somebody that can create something you need, and you just can't do that in other video game engines. You can't do it. Not even.
Yeah.
And we've got the sky is literally the limit in SL in ways that it's absolutely not. You have to work with constraints in every other engine, and that's why I was never interested in going into any other engine. I think I did one video in Skyrim because everybody loves Skyrim. But the fact is, and it goes back to the fact I love the crazy. You know, I love the magic of anything can happen here. And you've just got to allow yourself to understand and embrace that. But that's what makes it magic here. Because you can do it.
And that's the downfall of Sansar, really, because you couldn't create the graphics were a lot better, but you couldn't create, couldn't do what you do here.
The learning curve was a challenge for a lot of people on Sansar.
Definitely. But I also think that's when Linden Lab took their ear from the wall and stopped listening to the people and what they wanted and what they looked forward to and what they saw the trajectory of the platform becoming. And unfortunately, Sansar was the consequences of that, which was something that nobody wanted. Do you all want to abandon 20 years of inventory and all the friendships and family that you've made and the work that you've achieved and your homes and your investment in your life that you've put here? People don't want to just transition to something new because it's shiny, especially one that isn't as free. It isn't. You don't have as much liberation in Sansar as you do in Second Life. So they tried to defeat themselves on the battlefield, our dear Linden Lab, and they lost to themselves because Second Life still stands king as far as I'm concerned. So we have, and I've always said, Second Life is always going to be a very fertile ground for creatives forever, as long as it's here.
Yay.
Yes, I agree.
Completely agree with you.
And it's only growing too. It's only growing, And I love that they are shining a bigger light on Machinima as well in recent days. It was missing a lot, and I'm glad that it's become more of it's been more put into the light, of the Machinima artists that we have here and everything. So I think that's awesome.
One time at Toxic, I believe, had told them, "We're your ambassadors as filmmakers to Second Life." That was her words. "We're your ambassadors." I never forgot that, because the voice that you share outside these halls carries, and that makes you a touchstone for everybody who watches and gets curious.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. So, to kind of get back onto the questions here, I know we've been talking for a while, and if you guys are wanting to continue to go on, that's great. But we do have another question. It's a little bit off topic from what we have been discussing, but is there a behind-the-scenes story from one of your guys' films that still make you laugh today?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna tell. So Toxic did an amazing film called Little Red Riding Hood, and most of you guys know filmmakers in platforms that they use most predominantly. We develop an incestuous relationship. We're in each other's films. We help each other. We do all sorts of things with each other. We collaborate quite frequently. And I was doing a voice for her character in Little Red Riding Hood, and we were on Skype. And this was probably 2012 maybe. And she made me moan. She made me moan in the most unthinkable and godly ways. So I was getting, right? So I'm in my house. I'm in my living room, in my apartment, and I'm going, oh. I think you're enjoying it.
And I was like, yeah, you're not enjoying it. You shouldn't be enjoying it. You're getting beaten up unless that's what you're enjoying. You know? So yeah, go and watch the video. You can hear Phaylen moaning.
I remember I did a voiceover once, and I had to. It was for Mac, and I had to embody this villain. And Jordan was helping me with, directing my voiceover. And he said, just think of Mel Gibson in that movie, Braveheart, where he's like speaking to the army, and he's like, we're here and we're getting ready to. You got to fight. And so I was like screaming. And I was like saying it with my chest. And my mom downstairs was like, the neighbors are wondering what the heck's going on in the house right now. I was like, what? Sorry.
Yeah, when I was
to my
editing, I was listening to Tox and Phaylen in Skype playing poker, and you were playing serious poker, right? And I was editing, and I was listening to this, and Faye, you can have a bad mouth. And Tox recorded it. And what was it? A pimp with a limp? All these things she was saying. It was so creative, When somebody was winning, she would get off on one. He's like a pimp with a limp. And I was trying to edit. And still, when I see these movies, I can hear your voices. It's such a fun memory. I miss these days.
I have
You took a video of in the voices that I was making while playing poker and things that I was saying. And do you know, Toxic, somebody stole your video off YouTube and they put it to a different type of video of a woman giving birth.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What? Ew.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's funny, but it's gross at the same time.
I had one from when I filmed Tales of Twilight, the episode called Destinville, and the conductor of the train, I had a voice actor named Dirty. He's passed away now. He was really a funny guy. He was a DJ on SL, and he was trying to say Guadalupe Lopez, and he kept saying Guadalupe Lopez, and it was. And he kept saying it over and over again. And I kept saying, it's Guadalupe. He couldn't say Guadalupe for nothing. He said, Guadalupe Lopez is doing so. I said, no. So we had to cut. And I ended up using a different voice actor completely because he kept just messed up so much. But he was so funny. And I have those recorded as bloopers because he was hysterical, you guys. We were laughing so hard.
I have my own bloopers. I showed it at the at my interview with Chantal and Saffia.
Film fest.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Yeah. Thank you, Rizzo. Thank you for that.
Yeah, speaking of Rizzo, he wanted to apologize, but he did have to leave. He had to go RL for a little bit. He said he'll try to come back, but he doesn't. He's not sure.
So, Saffia, do you have one behind you?
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask Saffia.
Yeah.
I think your audio may have cut out a little bit.
Oh, we're not hearing.
Oh, it's breaking up. We can't hear you. Oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
Saffia, did you have any really exciting and hilarious moments throughout the years of designing worlds?
Thank you. Oh no, I think your audio is again.
Oh no. Her kitten probably walked over the keyboard.
Okay, no, I'm going to relog because it's sticky. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
There you see it's going again. First Christmas of Meta Makeover. 2008. Treat threw a huge Christmas party for us. And it was very glamorous. They had a glamorous location. We all dressed up. And they told us that we could each make a sort of short video from our shows. And Paisley Beebe, for example.
Were you breaking up? Paisley, I remember her.
Paisley had her production team backing her up as she sang Santa Baby. And they were all dressed in sort of sexy Santa outfits. But what we did for Meta Makeover, we went and found a BDSM region. And because
Awkward time to be cut off.
Yeah. Oh dear. I want to know.
Not now.
Not now. We went into the BDSM and then what?
BDSM region.
Yeah. She's doing it on purpose.
A parody of design of Meta Makeover with me dressed in black leather, wandering around, going, "Oh, this."
Oh,
No.
Every time we get to the good part, it cuts out.
I know. She's doing it on purpose, isn't she? Aren't you?
She's doing it on purpose. Yeah.
Perfect
I
timing.
say things like, the leatherwork is absolutely amazing. And have you noticed this wood grain on the torture bed? It's just beautiful. And of course, me with my sort of very prim English accent.
There she goes.
She's doing it on purpose, I'll tell
I
you.
swear.
I want to know.
And as the film started, Angie Mornington just said in a kind of stupefied voice, "Is Saffia wearing leather?" And it was very funny.
Oh, I miss Angie. Is she still here?
No, sadly not. She's sort of doing other things.
Okay. Well, yeah, I feel like so Emo said in the audience, SL censorship. Yeah, I think we were getting a little censorship on that one. That was funny. Petlove, do you have any funny behind the scenes that you remember?
I have so many, they've all crowded and pushed their way out of my head. I've been lucky to have a lot of fun for the most part. Some parts were frustrating and difficult, but for the most part, it was all done in good humor with good people. And I wish I could think of a specific example, but I can't right now. So
I know I was up here trying to think of the same thing and I couldn't. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. If I come up with anything, I'll let you know.
That's okay.
Okay. There's too many fantastic things have happened. A lot of them with Saffia. Well, here's one. I don't know if you remember Saffia, how much Mal used to love wearing that cat avatar. And he would, during like the 5th or 6th episode of the Black and Mirror, he would pop up wearing the kitty cat. And he just had to be there. He just loved to sprinkle it in wherever he could. And he's lucky, nobody put him in a cage and took him to the pound. Had to be there.
I mean, we gave him a part in the series in the end. Remember when he appeared in the street when Harlan Quinn came back to the 1960s?
Yeah. 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 We just all cried.
Yeah. What about you, Toxic? I know it's been a while, but do you have anything that you remember just kind of just bringing you to tears?
So it was so funny that me and Chantal and Phaylen were just talking about it before everyone else arrived, and it wasn't necessarily behind the scenes of a machinima that I was making, but we were just goofing around on a sim at God knows what o'clock in the morning for me and Chantal, probably 2 or 3 a.m. And Phaylen decided that she was going to drive a car through Chantal's house. And due to very bad physics at the time, due to very bad physics in SL at that point, the script for the car meshed itself into the script for the house, and the house deconstructed itself over the course of 20 minutes, and it was so bad and it was destroying the sim while we were watching it that we had to get Lyndon's in to push back the sim. And we were just sat there watching pieces of this house flying off into space, and we couldn't move because we'd killed the physics of the sim, and all you could hear on Skype was just basically wetting ourselves with laughter because this whole thing was just, and it was all because Phaylen I don't even know, Faye, perhaps she, too many gins that night, had decided that she was going to drive her car straight into Chantal's house, which then exploded.
Yeah.
And it was just, there was no reason for it. It was just done out of spite, wasn't it, Phaylen?
Well, it's still online. That video is online. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have to check that out.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Does that still happen today? Because I've had that happen where I tried to put on an old system outfit and everyone froze and everyone crashed and then no one could get back into the region. And I was like, I do that?
Do that.
I think you're just some master troll griefer, and you're just pretending to make machinima, but clearly every so often you just have a mass griefing event that you orchestrate for the whole thing.
I'm afraid to put on a system avatar now, because if I put an old one that's saved from inventory on, something bad might happen.
You'll get stuck. Yeah. Yeah.
If I had to come here with my knee-high hairdo, I thought I'd be ejected immediately.
You're going to have to find some new ones just in case.
I find it behind.
It's so funny, like, if you accidentally link your door to your house, the whole house starts swinging. I've done that before. Like, what happened?
Choice.
Yeah.
The wrong route, laws, the wrong route.
I know. All right, so we've had an amazing time here, and I want to know, I feel like things are kind of close. I don't want them to end because I think it's such great time to be here and have listened to all of your guys' stories and everything. But I'm curious to know what everyone is working on now. I know, Tox, you are no longer making Machinima, but maybe this might inspire you a little to diddle daddle in SL a little bit. I don't know, maybe. But what does everybody know? Yes?
Yeah, I think I probably may dabble a little bit just to see.
Love it.
But I think all it will do is prove to me that the stuff that you guys are all doing now is so far ahead of anything that I can do. I'll just have to try and, think of something that I want to do. I do want to say one thing, and I'll try not to take up too much time, but it's the best bit of advice I was ever given. And it was when I was in Amsterdam and I was filming for Saffia Widdershins. And her husband is Peter Greenaway. And Peter Greenaway had a very long chat with me about Machinima and about the creative process. And he told me something that I thought was the best bit of information or the best bit of advice that anyone could ever give anybody that does anything creative. and excuse me for swearing, but I'm just going to tell you guys. He said 95% of what anybody does is shit. You keep trying to do that 5% that works. And that's what everybody needs to think about. When it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, because you're working your way up to it working. So if this is the last thing that I say in this, which has been fantastic, by the way, and I've really enjoyed it, is that it doesn't matter if you fail 95 times. The 5 times that you get it right are the times that really mean something, and that's what pushes you forward to keep going. And that I kind of live by that now, because if somebody that's won a bloody Oscar can say that to me, then like, go for it, you know?
Such good advice. That's kind of inspired me to ask all of you guys, you know, tell us what you're working on now, what's to come, and, you know, some advice for our audience and our viewers here that are joining us today or tomorrow. I mean, they're going to be watching this for a while, I bet. So, let's go with who do you want me to randomly pick, or does someone want to volunteer? What about?
I'll start us up.
Okay.
And then we can just work our way around. So I'm doing Divas 3, of course, which we've talked about pretty extensively. I'm also do real world films as well. I've been in a film called Swan Song, and done real world acting and things like that now. So now I'm in film directing. So I'm doing a short film now about a woman at another juncture of technological evolution. If any of you have seen Disclosure Day or are aware of Disclosure Day, so I play a woman, older lady now, because, you know, she isn't in her college years anymore, guys, that is experiencing her AI waking up and becoming sentient in her home. So that's sort of an interesting, sort of another look that I'm taking at AI, just because I find the whole thing futuristic and fascinating. So when I look at something speculatively, I always want to explore it theoretically. It's the what if scenario. Mm-hmm. In the story, the AI is actually an alien technology that has sentient. It was just delivered to us as a harmless little non-sentient little thing that's just been waiting in the machine for us to recognize, realize, and us to get familiar with it so we don't freak out about aliens.
Oh, can it cook?
I hope so. I mean, I'm really microwave, but let me tell you what, I'd be happy with a little AI husband.
Sorry, I laughed a little too hard on that one.
Oh gosh, you're such a good writer. Your imagination is to die for. Yeah.
Chantal, what are you working on, and what's some advice you did? Phaylen, did you give advice? Did I miss that part?
I'm sorry, what?
Your advice to people?
My advice to people, to our party here. I think that the one thing that I want to follow up with what Toxic said is, you know, through your art has always been controversial. Art has always been something that has been political. It's been something that has been sometimes a vanity pursuit. Sometimes its purpose is what you give it. It will do what you want it to do. And once it's out in the world and you let it go, it's up for the world to consume it in the way that they choose. So you're going to get people who criticize. You're going to get people but you know what? They're watching. As long as they're watching. So make stuff that people don't. We live in this era now that we didn't have the benefit of Toxic and Chantal and I, or Saffia or Petlove, where there was, we didn't have social media like TikTok. We didn't have an Instagram. We didn't have a place where we could go viral with those pieces of work. And short form storytelling today is really, really what's making social media rotate, whether it's people pretending to play a prank on somebody, right? And it's all orchestrated, or a couple pretending to break up for clicks. There's room there, leveraging social media for you to share your artwork here created in Second Life or other platforms. So don't be afraid to push yourself outside the walls of Second Life. Your work that created here has a life out there too. And I do that because like many here, we've shown in the World's Fair in Shanghai. We've shown it at Berkeley Film Festival. We've shown it the Virtual Renaissance in Florence, Italy has shown our work.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Take it outside. Take it outside. Let the world see what you've done.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. I love that. Thank you. Chantal, what are you working on now, and what's next, and what's some advice that you have?
Well, what I'm working on now is I'm working with Fake Jewel Theater and Dorian. In the audience here, they have done a mystery murder play, and I'm filming that, helping Fakey because she's gone back to university, and she's also like first writers in Second Life that I know. So I'm working with them, filming, and you really. There's a different. The audience decides the ending, right? I love it. It's really, really special. Proper theater in Second Life. And my advice is very simple. I actually prefer editing above filming. I like filming. I love shooting machinima, but when I'm behind the computer, my Adobe, you're the master of every second, every frame. Every second has 30 frames, so I love that. And whenever I finish a film, no matter what it is, a commercial, a paid film, art, whatever, I look at it and I think, right, I'm going to take 10% off. So if I made a machinima, that's 3 minutes, I'm going to take 10% off. And that's my finished product. And it's hard to do, but it makes your films better, so much better. If you have a 10-minute film, take 1 minute off. No matter what, be strict for yourself and do it that way. You will see every film turns out better. It's very practical, very simple advice.
I like that. Saffia.
Well, is my voice working? Yes, but it stays.
It's not.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
For now, yeah. It's still going in and out a little bit, but only once so far. So.
Okay. I'm working towards bringing Designing Worlds back with a new formula. And I know that Chantal and Petlove are interested in being part of this and bringing their own work, so that rather than having one person filming and doing the whole show, it'll be segments with different people doing different subjects within. It'll become more of a portmanteau show. And that's my plan.
Exciting. I'm excited for
it. I hope it will be.
What's some advice you got for everybody today?
Advice for everybody. When you've got the film shot and edited, you think that's like you're 90% done. In fact, you're 50% done, because what makes a really strong film is the fine tuning, the tiny little cuts, the little alterations to get the rhythm going, everything. It's not just putting it all down and thinking, there, that's it. It's that last bit. And it will be lots of people coming together, hopefully, people who can do sound, who can do music, who can do refined editing, I guess I would say, and add special effects in post-production.
Yeah.
So when you think it's nearly done, it's half done. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But sometimes too, I agree that if you continue to look over your film, when you do complete it, finally, you get to that 100% and you keep going back to your film, you're like, I gotta fix it, gotta fix that, gotta fix this. At some point, you're like, okay, if I keep looking at this, I'm just gonna keep making changes.
Yeah. There's still one thing in the third episode of Omega Hex that really bugs me, where I've used a transition where I should have used a cut, and it still bugs me, and I've got to go back and redo that.
Mm-hmm. We're always looking at our work, and we're always going to be critiquing our works. You have to go back and show us the new. Show us what you did. All right, who would like to go next? Petlove?
Sure. I am mostly live streaming these days. I haven't been making films. I'm a little backed up on a couple of films, so I need to finish them first before I shoot any more films. And I would say, advice-wise, try not to overextend yourself, because it will get frustrating. And it doesn't feel good to, like, owe people films, you know? So other than that, though, I would say go for it. You know, just keep yourself within reasonable bounds, and it's a fabulous opportunity to be creative and create some of the most beautiful stuff that can be created. You know, because we have so much control. We can really see our vision, and not only in our heads, but we can make it show up in the virtual world as well. So
right.
It's a wonderful art. It's just I love it. I'm really in love with it. So that's
We're
me.
here for it. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, LP, I believe we got everybody else.
I'm working on things. I'm gonna look at it as a chef on a pot, and I got stuff on the back burner and stuff on the forefront that I'm ready to cook. On the back burner, I'd say is like 27 RCs on the back burner. Lucid Scapers on the back burner. Close to the front, I got Cyborg Mania and Resilient Red X is what I'm kind of working on. More so a new script for Resilient Red X. Cyborg Mania is my attempt to merge AI with SL and see what envelopes I can push with that. I'm working on two mediums here, which is hard to do sometimes because I'm dealing with the SL side, which is the work of art and passion, and the passion driving me to produce this thing just for the love of it. And then there's a film and business side where I'm doing it and it's a profit aspect to it, and it's an investment aspect, and there's cost involved, and then there's legal aspects of it, which is really tough with SL. So that's the reason why you'll see a lot of the things that I put out are stuff that I'm trying to create from myself and not anything that's on intellectual property to stay safe. But nothing wrong with those who want to tap into intellectual properties and want to express themselves freely and not worrying about money, and they just want to put something cool. Some of those things stand out so big because they tap into that person's creativity or that person's desire to manifest something or bring something to life. But I love SL for the ability to do both mediums and to be able to produce things that out of your head or out of you seems inspired by someone else. And that's what I'm continuing to do, and inspiring others and being inspired by others, because all this new stuff and all the new people doing stuff is blowing my mind. And SLV, thank you for promoting everybody and putting it out there so we all can see it. Because there was a time when I was a part of this community where it was hard to see everybody's work. You had to go follow a specific person or go on those sites, those old school sites that I think I mentioned that were favoring Machinima, that you had to follow Machinima to follow. But now we can go to you, and it's in a way you've networked and broadcasted with the help of Chantal in the Machinima Mondays, it's well known. Dragster helped with that as well. Just ushering it out so that the world knows that look at all this cool creative stuff that's visual that comes from this little community that has grown. So that's what I'm doing. I got stuff on the back burner and stuff on the forefront. Resilient Red X is the latest thing I'm working on. Mouthful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. And what about some advice that you have for everybody?
Advice?
Mm-hmm.
Stick to what you love and you're passionate about, regardless of people's opinion of it, views, likes, hearts, comments. Do what you like to do, and it will draw people to what you like. People that like it will respond to it. And if they don't, you just be happy within yourself. Have a level of self-confidence, and that doesn't require the validation of outsiders to make your stuff have worth. You are worthy because you're creative and you're here and you're doing something cool, whether it's one little print with a texture on it and you put a little sound in it, that's you. Then awesome. You put that and sell it for $1 linden. And I have a brother and he started like that and now he's doing creative things. You have to congratulate people on the little things that they do. And so that's my advice. It's just, you have friends that are creative, cultivate them and encourage them.
I like that. Did we get everybody up here? I think so. Yeah, I think we got everybody up here and what they're doing. I will kind of pull everything together on those advices. The most important thing that I can tell people today is that everybody has imposter syndrome. And we all feel like our work could be better. I talk to a lot of directors who are saying, oh, I aspire to be like this person, or I aspire to be like that person. And I continue to tell them, I'm like, just aspire to be you, and you can allow because they have more, skill in one area does not mean that you cannot develop that skill too, or that you yourself aren't making amazing machinima as well. And what you're doing is just as amazing as someone else's. Allow those people to aspire you and inspire you and to create, these things. And that's, and encourage people to collaborate and get together and learn from each other. And,
exactly. Tarantino will not be following somebody else, He's his own man. And
exactly.
The big directors like that, they don't have examples they wish they were like. They follow their own path, their own road. And that's why they are what they are. So you should never try to be somebody you're not. Be yourself.
Right, exactly.
If you're timid or if you're shy or if you know of someone like that, just remind them. I was told this from an entrepreneur once, because I was quiet sitting in the room. And she said, a closed mouth does not get fed. Sometimes you have to say something or ask. Don't be afraid to ask. I'm open. Hit me up in my IM. You got a question about my machinima. Least thing I can do is ignore. The worst thing I can do is ignore you or say no. I'm like, so don't be afraid of a no. Don't be afraid of the decline. But if you say nothing, you get nothing. So you have to be inquisitive to learn from others. That's why that SL community is there to learn. And so you don't even have to be that inquisitive. You can just read everybody else's stuff, and learn from others.
Yeah. I was just about to say, we have things going on like Machinima Monday and like SLVCG group with our server in Discord and also here. And we have events that are going on. And there's other events too that I apologize, if I'm not naming them out. But there's opportunities for people to just sit and watch too. If speaking out is not their thing, that's okay. You don't need to speak up and be out of your comfort zone. You can learn through other means. But I will tell you that the Machinima community is probably one of the nicest communities I've ever crossed paths with.
Yeah, I'm talking about the old days, Los. When I started, there was no community. Everybody was working Machinima on their own little island. I was the producer of the 48 Hour, and I wasn't allowed to share any emails with the others. Everything was shielded off. Everybody was anonymous, scared to be found out who they were. Nobody would work together. If I did a call for actors, they'd go, I would not get any response, nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody was jealous of each other, envious. Nobody would recognize the other. Nobody would work together. And that is maybe the biggest change in Machinima, because now we are communities. We help each other. We work together.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
That was one reason why Jordan created SLVCG, is because one day he was sitting there, he goes, I don't know who to reach out to. I don't know, I don't know where to go. We had heard of Machinima Mondays. We had very little resources that we could go to. People were, gatekeeping, or people, we didn't even know if they were gatekeeping because we just didn't have a place for it. So he created SLVCG as a home for people to gather and for people to learn and hopefully find these other events and these other spaces that people can feel comfortable in too. It's not just about SLVCG. It's about the whole Machinima community. And, we just wanted to build a home for people to have access and an outlet to those other things that are in SL. So.
Yeah, you did.
Does anybody have anything that they want to add to this conversation today that they feel like they weren't able to add, or anything that they want to say before we come to an ending?
I would like to say thanks, if that's okay, because, I've got myself been in Second Life for some time. So, Loz, and to you and the people who have made this possible, I'm really, really grateful for you taking the time to spend with us today. And of course, to Chantal, who is just my lifelong friend, my sister, everything. And I worship the ground she walks on. And to me, she is the mother of Second Life Machinima. She is somebody who has inspired me so many times over the years, and I believe is largely responsible for everything I was able to feel like I could achieve in this arena. And it is so inspiring for me to see that she has been ceaseless. She has been irrepressible in pushing people to be creative. And she has pushed people to go outside their box and do amazing things. And for somebody like that to devote so much time here so consistently in that realm. And she has basically given birth to machinimists all over the world. And I'm basically grateful. And I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Faye. What would I be without you? Huh? Gosh. The early days, all the days and nights we spent working together, or, I never thought they would pass, and they have. That's the only thing I regret. I mean, I enjoyed them when they were there, all the projects we did, but they passed, they're gone, and that's, And of course, we met new people, not forgotten, never
not forgotten, and you can still do it again if you choose to.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll work together again.
100%. That's
That'd be awesome.
About this community. It encourages collaboration.
Yes.
That's so what I want to say. I want to say thank you to all the people who do voice acting, who volunteer and stand on pose balls, who aren't in the limelight, whose names got stuffed somewhere and no one remembered them, who I may have forgotten about and didn't share it with you. Just thank you for what you did to help make all of our projects come to life, or help somebody or inspire somebody. And those who have died, because a lot of people we lost in COVID, and a lot of people have left SL, and some people were contributors to this community that aren't here anymore. Just thank you for them, and who knew them.
Yeah, I agree. And to piggyback off of that, honestly, none of our artistry, none of our machina making would be here without those people, like you said. And we couldn't do it without creators, making this this couch we sit on, you know, or creators making these outfits that we wear, you know, just being here and allowing us to have these tools that we have, you know, like animations or dances or tools to move us from one location to another location, spot-ons, all of that stuff, you know, things that you guys have talked about in the past, not having these new generations coming in and allowing us to utilize their it is art. All of it is art, and allowing us to, you know, purchase these items and have these items so that we can make our machinima. And to the, like you said, the voice actors and actors, there's so many moving parts behind a machinima that people just don't actually know of. And they really deserve their flowers too. So I'm glad that you said that, LP. That's a really good point to make. Yeah. Anybody else have any last minute words?
I think I just want to say thank you to everybody that's still doing it and pushing it forward. That's really important. It's really important because, like I said before, it's an emerging art form. We may have started it and just played around and stuff, but you guys are the ones that are really pushing it forward now. So thank you, and keep doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree too. Anybody else?
Well said, Doxy.
Yes, well said. Saffia or Petlove, you guys are, do you have any last minute words? No pressure.
Just thank you. Just thank you. Thanks for having us here and for supporting Machinima. It's awesome.
I'm with Petlove. Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
I think
Ross.
Yeah, of course. And big shout outs to Rizzo too. And again, he says that he had to leave, but I'm sure he's going to be watching this later to catch up on what he missed. And we're just, you know, we're happy to do this. This is really a passion for us. You know, it's not just Machinima that is a passion for us, but it's community that's a passion for us, and it's helping others and giving people a voice and giving people a space to say how they feel and to speak up about what they're doing and have, you know, these just a community because it was lacking, you know, and I'm not saying that we're the only ones because we aren't the only ones, but, you know, we're happy to be able to provide that, you know, to have events that allow Machinima artists to shine, you know, like our award show. We're illuminating Machinima Film Festival, just like the Fantasy Fair Film Festival that you guys have, allowing people to shine there, and Machinima Monday. I mean, it's all part of these moving parts that just keep this community together, and we're really grateful for that. So
I'd also like to add thanks to Bain and Muse, who are sitting patiently under the stage. When you think of what Bain can do with the camera, and Muse too, and some of the coolest shots. And yet here he is sitting patiently filming us for as long as we chat.
How many bathroom breaks did you guys take? How many cups of coffee have you been through already? Yes, a huge shout out to Bain and Muse for always being there to help us make these things possible. 8 coffee mugs. Woo! That's a lot.
Yeah, and as they jokingly say, they've seen the best events and concerts in Second Life ever from underneath the stage.
Yeah.
This is certainly a great event. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a privilege and an honor, and you know, I want to thank each and every one of you guys being here and joining me on this stage, and everybody in the audience, and all of those people who are watching as well, and Bain and Muse. And Jordan, and, just people being here to help make this possible. It's been such a great event, and it was everything that I had hoped for it to be. I was busy planning this before my trip, and I was just like, I just want to do something, what can we do to tie this in? And it definitely did better than I had hoped for, honestly. I just want to thank you guys for being here and being so open with your voices and your opinions on tools and opinions on the past and the future, and giving us advice, and your willingness to just help experience, to experiment and help lay the foundation for our art form that, that continues to inspire filmmakers around the world. That's crazy, right? The worldwide. And this community that we enjoy today exists because of pioneers like you guys. And we're grateful that you took the time to share a piece of that history with us today. And those who tuned in and those who are here, we appreciate you for your questions that you had, and and your enthusiasm as you cheered these pioneers on and supported them. You guys are also truly what helped this community to stay alive. I want to shout out to Chantal again for going above and beyond and allowing us to have the celebration here at Silver City to make it to where it didn't have to end so soon. It wasn't just about looking back today. It was about preserving our history and celebrating our present that inspires our future, because the stories we heard today remind us that every filmmaker starts somewhere, and every great idea begins with curiosity and a willingness to try something new. And so, it's just a passion about telling stories. We really do hope that today's conversation has inspired all of you to create. If you haven't picked up a camera, an SL viewer camera, go get yours today, get out there and let this inspire you to just turn on that screen recording and just film things around you and collaborate with people. And if you don't know where you're going, there's always a place for you to learn. And, perhaps you can join this next community of storytelling Machinima makers in SL. And yeah, I just hope that you guys all have a wonderful afternoon and you enjoy the rest of your time in Silver City. If you have the time, take a look around. Maybe let Silver City inspire you to create. There is a backdrop to your right and to your left. One is a nice snowy alley, and the other one is a nice rainy a New Orleans scene. Maybe you might find a dead body buried somewhere. I don't know. I'm just saying. There might be a dead body somewhere. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your time, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.